OBS is fucking weird. Anyway. Greetings everyone and welcome to the second part of the ranking list of video games. we could make it to 35 last time. You know what? We'll see how far we can go now. To recap, our top 1 to 35 is Sekiro, Dark Souls on number 1, Metal Gear Rising, Witcher 3 on number 2, Mecha Dimension Neptune Victory 2 on number 3, together with Ultra Final Fantasy, Devil May Cry 5 next to Ace Attorney Trials, Kingdom Hearts 2 on 5 with Armored Core 6, Devil May Cry 3 on 6 with Code Vein, Digital Story Cybersloot with Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins on 7, Super Mario World on 8, Yakuza 0 at 8, Sonic Generations at 9, Pokemon Black 2 at 9, Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 3 at 10, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team at 10. Halo 2 on 11. Back Rebel Network 6, 5 and 3 on 11. Hitman on 12. Elden Ring on 12. Persona 5 on 13. Dark Souls 3 on 13. Persona 4 Golden on 14. Castlevania Symphony of the Night on 14. Mario Odyssey on 15. Armored Core 3 Silent Line on 15. Armored Core 6 on 16. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on 16. Code Vein and Golden Sun on 17. Super Metroid Dread on 18 and Lock's Quest on 18. Kirby Superstar Ultra on 19. Neo on 19. I'm gonna fucking die. Chrono Trigger 20. Monster Hunter Rise 20. Wish to Claim 3 Up Your Arsenal 21. Digimon Story Cybersloot on 21. Final Fantasy 6 and 9 on 22. And Sekiro on 22. At in Time on 22 is Witch Spring Guard 23. Death End Request on 24. Kingdom Come Deliverance on 24. Witch Spring Guard 25. Pokemon Plasma 25. Mafia 26 was Outer World at 26. Dragon Quest 11 together with Final Fantasy 5 on 27. Budokai 3 and Infinite World on 28 with Armored Core 4 on 28 for NC. Sonic Mania Knuckles 3. Let's go 29. Kingdom Hearts 29. Yeah, and it's like Kingdom Hearts over Kingdom Hearts 2. Crazy, right? Sounds insane. I know.
Yes.
It's bizarre. Doom Eternal on 30 together with Castlevania Aria of Sorrow on 30. One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 on 31 and Final Fantasy 9 on 31. Crash Bandicoot at 32 with Final Fantasy 6 on 32. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at 33 with Dragon Quest 11 on 33. Pokemon Black 2 on 34 and Inazuma 11 games at 34. Yeah, that's a curveball. Mega Man. Okay, so I changed something at 35. Now, Anna's favorite game on 35 is Super Metroid Zero Mission. Super Metroid and Zero Mission, but mostly Zero Mission. For me, mostly Mega Man X4, but I was thinking about it, but Mega Man X is basically just as fun. It's just, yeah, just like the graphics are a bit better in X4. You can play as Zero, you know, that's like the biggest reason. But Mega Man X I enjoy just as much, so I kind of linked them together this time around. If that is okay with you guys. Well then, I guess we can continue off from there. So it's my turn, and I've made a little bit of a list for myself so that because I was really thinking about the next few ones. And the next one is gonna be another Kirby game. It's gonna be the newest one actually, Kirby's Kirby Lost Lands, Kirby's Lost World. No, not Kirby Lost World. What the fuck? No, this Kirby's Lost World. Am I crazy? I'm fucking dumb. It was the Forgotten Land. Why is it called Lost World? What the fuck? What the fuck, Google? Google, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it. It's the Forgotten Land. You fucking dumb cunt, Google. I think this game perfectly, like, you know, puts Kirby as a 2D game into a 3D game. But I feel that not only just that, but the game does some things again that the older games used to do, but so much better. Like, you need to do all these extra things to get like the better ending or to get all the shit. You have to do all of those side things in the stages themselves that make them interesting and fun. A lot of them also references to other stuff as well. And I genuinely think it's a really fun game. It looks really good too. The soundtrack is nice, especially actually the soundtrack I'm gonna pull up right now because I forgot about that. Hold on a minute. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, North Park, Cross Street, OST, yeah. Everyone likes this team. This team is great. I think. If it's the same team I'm thinking of. Let me fuck with the audio for a bit. Alright. Ennis. I don't think you have much to say about the game because you never played it, so what's your game?
Brave to Default.
I'll put it on soon. I just
Jesse's lost. Give it a moment. Give him.
I lost in the Forgotten Lands. Probably didn't even type Forgotten correctly. Forgotten. No, that's I'm
Oh,
gonna
right.
I'm,
No,
I'm gonna let it stay. I'm gonna let it stay on there. It's funnier that way. You know what to say? Funny, it's good.
of course.
Alright, Bravely Default.
We keep our intelligence from the dub enjoyers.
Anyway, Ennis, I haven't played this game yet, so Ennis should like do a good job of explaining what his reasoning for this list is. For this,
Bravely Default is like this. It is kind of a Final Fantasy game. Actually, no, it is a Final Fantasy game with a different story, with a different world, right?
Yeah.
And in terms of its storytelling, it went very well, very good, enjoyable with the characters along with it. You know, one of the few things I do notice with like some of the newer games is that how they have more emphasis with the characters, right?
Yes.
And one of these things that Bravely Default does, and adding on to that, Final Fantasy V's class system being also really, really great. It does it really well. They're different, obviously, right? It's not none of the inheriting stuff, but it's great fun. The only biggest drawback that this game forever will be is that the last few chapters just drag on to such an wild extent. It's insane. It really is. It's really bad in that sense.
It seems to be a problem with the developer in and of itself, because they do that with almost every game they make.
Yeah, and it is for the people that may wonder, it is made by the same people that made Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
I don't know really any more games, but maybe Jess could answer that one if he thinks of anything.
Okay, should I assume they
No need to do. Should
I assume they made Triangle Strategy as well?
I have no clue.
It's the same,
I only know about Octopath Traveler.
It's the same art style as Octopath Traveler. Also, there's a second Octopath Traveler game.
Yes, true. That's true. That also happened.
My next game is Infamous, actually, and I think I'm gonna link them together with the franchise itself, because I don't really have a favorite one. Infamous 1 and 2 are practically linked together, right? Like, one of them has directly to do with the other one. I might say that Infamous 2 is the best one made, because it's the best looking one. Actually, no, the next game is the best looking one, but it looks good while also having the most content, I think, especially with the user generated content on top of everything else. But I think all three games, do practically achieve the same feeling. It's just that Infamous, like Second Son, specifically, like that game feels more like a console, like a test of the console. Right? It's really trying to just test out the hardware, which you can kind of tell because the game does feel a little bit rushed, especially with there only being like 2 islands as opposed to 3 in the other 2 games. But I still think it's a fun game. Infamous is just like a really good it's basically a superhero game, right? But it's also more of you have the choice between being a fucking villain and a hero, and that all alone kind of makes it fun. It's pretty replayable with the different side quests and missions you'll do when you choose a different path. The story and characters are interesting enough as well, especially the second game as well has a pretty interesting story and ending. The soundtrack, the second game soundtrack is a bit better. And this has probably some strong words for the soundtrack of the first game.
I have no memory of it. That's how strong the memories are. I'm trying to remember. You see, it has probably been so bad that I scrubbed it off my memory.
That's fair. I do genuinely enjoy this game. Like getting all the power-ups as well and getting stronger. The new abilities you can get, and just playing as a character that just has electricity powers is pretty cool as well. So it really does get on that. I have a lot of memories of this game too, because I think it's one of the first real next-gen Western games I was interested in besides Halo. A lot of YouTubers I used to watch used to play this game quite a bit too. So it was something that I enjoyed a lot on YouTube and eventually played myself and enjoyed a lot. Yeah.
But from what I've seen at the very least, from what it was a really cool game. Though sometimes the choices could be really fun. It's like, I can do this obviously good thing, or I can steal candy from a baby.
This person seems to be hanging from a rope. Now, I could let him go, or I could just shoot him to death for no reason.
But otherwise, I did really enjoy at the very least the story it did, the things that was happening in it and all that, the mystery behind some of the topics. Really cool.
Well, it's your next game.
My next game. It had to be one of the Mega Man Zero games, and I think I'll go with. For me, honestly, it's 4. Mega Man Zero 4.
Yes. You often like said you said you had difficulty choosing between 4 and 2.
Yeah. For it comes down to in this case 4 for me as of this the reasoning behind it really, and it was for me it had a really good way of finishing off the story for Mega Man Zero's games, right? As well as giving us some really good systems on top of it, like a fairy that that isn't a one-time use that you can customize, though can sometimes be limited. The fact that you don't have to don't get special techniques or don't have to get a really high rank to get new techniques or something like that. But obviously, I think they went a bit more back to the original formula almost, which might have been its drawbacks as well. But when I played it the first time, I did enjoy that a lot more than what the other games had. So, as my reasoning for why I would like 4 more than the other 2. 1 isn't on the list for me because it's just it's not the best. It's not the best. It's not good.
No, I remember like our
but it's the beginning from anything.
Yeah, I remember commentating being quite bored at it sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, my next game is actually Mega Man Battle Network 6. You know, I need a Battle Network on there somewhere because, you know, as much as I love Mega Man X4 and X1 on its own more, but I love Battle Network games where I started really as a Mega Man fan, right? And I think 6 is the most fun to play. There are some others on the list as well, though, so, you know, I'm just gonna say, Battle Network 6 to me is just the best flow of battle. It just feels good. You know, everything is fast-paced, but, like, not so fast-paced you need to reflect yourself a god just to, like, dodge things. So a lot of attacks are better telegraphed in this game, I feel, and I also just think that you get a lot of cool abilities and upgrades in the game as well. Like you already get the dual links, like a better version of the soul mechanic, but also you get the beast out as well. But some of these things also seem to come with their own, like, I remember there being some risk involved. I don't remember exactly.
The beast out form?
Yeah, I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of Battle Network 5 instead.
The beast out form's only drawback is that you can only use it for a few turns, and after that you go berserk. Before you get one more turn of going berserk,
yeah.
And then after that you're done. You're losing HP over time for the next turn, and you cannot beast out anymore, or actually cross form either.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I think the berserk. Sorry, my VTuber avatar has lost his mind. I don't really know what's wrong with it anymore. Yeah. The story is fine, you know, it's nothing too crazy, you know, you do get like a new I like what IGN is trying to say in their review. You do get a new place, you know, you meet new characters, Len has moved out, you know, we find different things in the city, there's different like threats in here and there, and you know, the ending is pretty nice too, like it is a conclusive end where Dr. Wily actually turns a new leaf and actually becomes a good guy. You know, I know that sounds crazy if you were a long-time Mega Man fan. But you know, the main characters get married, the other characters have their own things. You know, like Dex became a fucking mayor. It's pretty, you know, it's a great ending to a fun series. Also underrated because most people gave up after 4 because 4 sucked. So, do you have your next game?
I would say Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, that's an interesting one, because you put that above, like, 7 and 10. Yeah.
What I find of Final Fantasy IV as a game is that it has a really good introduction to, like, the Final Fantasy genre, better than, at the very least for the old Final Fantasy games, because, you know,
yeah.
10 goes a completely different direction, and 7 does something else entirely. You know, it's more close to 6, but different enough, I guess. Whereas this one is still close enough to is, you know, a really good beginner for the classical RPG games, while still having its own things going on, as well as a lot of party members dying and also not dying. The story and characters still being very, for me, they're very enjoyable, even if they're not that deep, I guess.
I think Final Fantasy IV is that perfect balance between being deep enough and simple, like beautifully simple.
Beautifully simple, yes.
I assume you also like the PSP version the most.
Yes, the PSP version would be the best version out of them.
Yeah.
Man, it doesn't have the difficulty of the DS version, though, but has the better looks going forward, right? The better looks.
This one is another game that I don't think would be on any top 100 list. But it's very fancy with Advent Dark Force. Like, I think about it, and it's like, yeah, it's not the best game ever, but when I really think about it, like, I do love the game, and it's mostly for the characters, you know. When I was done playing the game, I did have, like, post-game depression kind of thing. Its story is, it's a bit simple. I do enjoy the main character's kind of growth from being like this guy that's he just wants food. Like, he doesn't care about anything, really, at first. And then, he starts making friends, and now he suddenly starts caring about them. Then later, he starts, like, meeting this girl, for example, who he helps out, and then he learns that she's on a quest of revenge on him without him knowing. It's like, they don't know that he killed her brother, but he knows that he killed her brother, and he's like, oh, fuck. And he starts learning that he shouldn't just kill every single person that he fights. He should probably try to, like, make them join him instead. And I really like that character growth in the first route as well. Advent Dark Force is a better version of the game, too, because it adds more cutscenes to the game that make, like, certain characters more important. Because a lot of characters were kind of sidelined because the developers were mostly focusing on the two heroines who he either ends up with, depending on which ending you take. It also comes with 2 extra routes, which the third route I can kind of leave, to be honest, because the second route I think is very entertaining, even if it's definitely not canon, but it's definitely more entertaining. And when it comes to the third route, there's some aspects I like of it. It does add a bit of lore to, like, who the goddess and the Val god are. But I don't like how they killed off fuck, his name is difficult to say. Apollonius? The purple swordman. The purple swordman. He's a character, he's stupidly, like, stubborn at first, but once he joins your party, he's actually pretty entertaining because he's all noble and shit, while the rest of the party is clinically insane. And, I just find him a much more entertaining character, because the character that replaced him in the third route, he's a good contrast of via, like, the main cast, but not him. Because he only has one joke, and that's what he wants to be reincarnated into an insect. But I just like I said, the other characters just bounce off of that, with, like, thinking way too hard about how we should be reincarnated. It's like, no, what kind of insect, though? You have to be specific. Your next life is on the line over here. Like, they're taking it even more seriously than him. But on top of that, they're also characters that have more than just one joke, and that's what makes them likable as well. Constantly you see, like, events of them doing random things in, like, day-to-day life, and, you kind of like them. Final Fantasy F also has a pretty interesting world setting, because at first it seems like a typical medieval fantasy kind of story. But video games exist, and your main villain is the first main villain in the first half of the game is an evil corporation. It really is the one game where they just do whatever is just fun and crazy. And that's just as recognizable of a cast as Neptunia games, and I genuinely just love all of them. Except for the bug guy, fuck that guy. That guy sucks.
What insect? What insect?
Well, insect though, like, you have to be specific. Like, that insect you just named doesn't howl into the sky like you just said you wanted to do, you fucking idiot. You don't even know anything about insects, you dumb cunt. Oh, man. And the soundtrack is pretty good too, I like the soundtrack. The art is pretty nice as well. Tsuneko, I love her character designs and art style. But yeah. So, Ennis, do you have an art curveball to throw? He's thinking about it. At any point in time, he can just run from the corner and smack you with a baseball bat and say, "This game is fucking hype, my dude." I mean, I do the same thing, but Well, at least the music is good.
Fire Emblem Sacred Stones.
Ah, interesting, a Fire Emblem game. And yet, so this must be then your favorite one. So what makes this your favorite, like, Fire Emblem game?
It's the... Probably one of the more, people will call me a fucking scrub, and I'll take it with pride. It's the easier one, the more welcoming one out of the bunch.
Even more so than the newer games.
This one is very easy.
Really now?
Like, and it's as one of the let's say old school Fire Emblem games. This one is the easiest one. But people will say grind because you can grind in it, and that's one thing, sure. But it gives you a good welcome, a good entrance to like just understanding Fire Emblem, the tips and tricks. Obviously, Fire Emblem is like Pokemon, and the importance is knowing the encounters at some point.
Yeah. Which
is true for this one. But and what also adds to it is the interesting characters that are the characters can be somewhat interesting. The story is pretty nice and can be and to one extent also tragic. So. It's a fun. It has a fun story and it's a good gameplay to boot. It also has I don't know if that's for all GBA games, but it had the best sprite work when it comes to their knights, looking fucking awesome.
What was it called? Not Lost Woods. It was called what was it again? Oh, this called Lost Woods. What the fuck? Yeah.
Are you looking for 6? Ah, this one.
Yeah, now
so we can ponder our orbs.
It's a Mario game. It's not this one, but it's Mario and Luigi. And I'm gonna link them together with like Superstar Sagas and Bowser's Inside Story because I loved both of them.
I never got to play Bowser's Inside Story, but man, when I saw the DS, when I saw Let's Play of it or walkthrough, it looked so much fun.
I think you should at least play this game. Oh man. Both games are fantastic, right? Like I love Super Mario. Like Mario and Luigi was probably like the first RPG I've played that is like official and not just like on spelen.nl. The Dutch, like But this game, like Superstar, like it's also a look. Like the look of Superstar Saga was also something that I have a lot of nostalgia for because it really is just like that one Mario game I really love. There's so much to do in that game. There's like. It's so fun because like it's not just an RPG. It's an RPG where you can actually kind of like avoid and dodge and counter attacks. To me, that mechanic alone is just fantastic because barely any game has it.
Yeah,
it
is absolutely a unique and strong point of it, as well as all the goofiness added to it as well.
It has humor. The story is fine, but Bowser's Inside Story I think also has an interesting story because Bowser's actually a pretty interesting main character because he's pretty villainous obviously, but there's a part of this character that he cares about his troops and he does seem to like actually care about some things here and there, even being as rough as a person he is, right? But it's funny because you get to play as a villain and as the heroes at the same time and they're working together sometimes without Bowser even really realizing he's working together with him. The gameplay is just really fun as well. Bowser's Inside Story, what it has on top of like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga is just the giant battles, the that amazing. Both of them have amazing final bosses and amazing final boss music. Holy shit! Yeah, this is a game. This is generally a game I would love to play for this channel sooner rather than later. But a lot of good games are good.
A lot of good games are indeed good.
You'd be surprised. Anyway, your game. Man, I can't believe Ennis would pick Dragon Ball Sagas as his favorite game. It's crazy.
No, I'm not picking Dragon Ball Sagas. It's a fucking game. Alright, that stupid game we played like last week.
Yeah, the bad one,
Yes.
Was it not Blasphemous?
Blasphemous.
No, Blasphemous? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, you have talked about it before. But I have never played it. I haven't even really seen anything of it, so I don't know anything really about it.
It's a difficult Metroidvania game in a sense, where and most of it difficulty comes from its combat more than its platforming challenges. And you'll certainly be confused as hell for its story, though it has apparently some biblical meaning or something to it.
Yeah.
Meaning, I don't know exactly.
I mean, it's called blasphemous, so I would assume it has religious symbology.
It is certainly I do like the setting for just purely aesthetical thing. It looks really interesting and cool. And in the terms of its combat, it's just very solid with the Metroidvania stuff added to it.
Alright. I guess it's my turn again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna throw a curveball. People won't expect this. I'm picking Ys 2, specifically the remake, Ys Chronicles. They combine the game together because the games, they really have a lot to do with each other. So both of them were meant to be one game originally, I believe. But the first game, I did not enjoy the boss fights in the first game at all. That really dragged the game down for me. But the second game, there are plenty of games that are technically better, but I absolutely I already enjoy kind of the art style and the different CGs for talking to NPCs and the just the good old retro style. But it's basically a mix between Legend of Zelda and Doom. Really, that's kind of what the game is like. It is.
I can't believe Jess would like Yeast.
Yeast 2, I absolutely fucking love. There's so many hidden little details here and there. Did you know you can bond with every NPC? All 200 of them in the fucking game?
That's painful, but cool.
You can do it. They can give you rewards and everything for it as well. Some of them are required. Some of them give you fucking meat, for example. And you can also kill all of them. They'll respawn, but you can kill all of them too for the shits and giggles.
Why, you monster?
And they'll hate you for it too. Your friendship will be back to zero. I absolutely love so
the least of my worries if you kill me, but
there are so many things that is just fun about this game, and the boss battles that do it way better. By introducing magic into the game, you can actually kind of you have to kill the boss with magic instead of physical attacks. But because of that, it's a lot easier to kind of dodge boss attacks, and a lot of these bosses actually have interesting patterns in the end there. I genuinely think this is a fun adventure, and of course, I cannot mention anything else without mentioning the fucking amazing soundtrack. The first game also has this amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack is so good that alone puts this game at a high spot. I genuinely really enjoyed my time with this game. It just felt like this great, lovely adventure. And the ending is very nice too. The story is mostly told to the NPCs talking to you and shit like that. You know what? It works. Like I said, you're killing demons. Just like in Doom. Only it's a fantasy setting. What more do you want? Things just fucking explode.
That's rocket science.
It's fucking great. I love this game. And it's your turn. My god, I can't believe Anis will pick Final Fantasy 13.
Let's see. I guess Mega Dimension Neptunia.
It's a great. I mean, I'm biased. Yeah, it's a great pick. Interesting. And then you'd probably say original, right? Why am I don't.
It's fine. It doesn't really matter, but original, yes. Just do that one. I did play R, but I remember seeing it. I also played Mega Dimension Neptunia 1 or. The Victory 1. There you go. And from there, that point where I think that I rather play that one, that type of combat, and the original one instead of the what do you call it? The remake? No. What was it called again? Victory R. Victory 2R. There we go.
Say Revengeance. That was the joke we made.
Yeah, that was the Revengeance. Otherwise, it's just comparing it to the Rebirth 3, Victory 1. Oh, it was. It had a far better pacing because there was so much cutscenes in Victory 1, man.
Yeah, Victory
It
1 was too
multiple times.
heavy on cutscenes.
Whereas I think this one was perfect, as well as the characters still being great and compelling. I do miss the maker characters, but that's fine because we got Uzume.
Uzume is Uzume.
Best girl.
Yeah, she's the strongest driving force in the story. Like, she makes the story interesting. And I love Victory 2. But I've already said a lot of Victory 2. Anyway, I guess it's my turn then. 42, yes, that would be actually. And this might be another slight surprise. Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure. I was thinking about it, like how high I should put this on the list or even on the list, but I have to, because I played this game a lot. And it's partially because it's also very short, but that's kind of what makes it perfect, right? It basically does the entire Dragon Ball saga like it's a fucking Kirby game. And it's really fun. Even if it's really short, it's very replayable because of how short it is. I just can constantly just pick this up and play it. It's easy enough, but not stupidly easy. And I love the different gameplay style when you get into like the tournament and do like the 1v1s. That are pretty unique to the gameplay as well. It turns into a fighting game. Next to its platforming Kirby side-scroller beat-em-up game. It's so much fun. The soundtrack is good, and I love the sprite work as well. It's genuinely a very charming game, and I highly recommend anyone to just try it out, because it doesn't take a lot of your time, and it's very fun. And you can extend the time a little bit with playing as Krillin, I guess, if you want to. And of course there's a versus mode as well, which, I don't think a lot of people are gonna play versus mode with this game, but it's a fun game. I genuinely think it's a very entertaining game. You can otherwise also play Revenge of King Piccolo, but I like this one more because of like it's game time really just adds to its simplicity, like it's beautiful and simple. Yeah. So, what is your...
I was thinking of it for a moment. Fuck, I lost it.
I'm stupid. What the fuck did I do?
God Eater.
Hey, God Eater. Oh no, I fucked it up. Yeah, God Eater is a good one. Oh man. Alright, you know what? That's it now. God Eater, yes. Ryan, let's tell us something about this amazing game.
Well, like Code Vein, it's similar to Code Vein. It is anime Monster Hunter with a lot more story driven, story driving it forward. It has though the combat is kind of what do you call it?
It's a bit clunky.
Clunkier side. When comparing it to like the game, it was I guess inspired off. Yeah, it's way better. It it has the cool monster eating things and getting buffs from it by different techniques. It has it has the grind going in there, the importance of different weapon types. But most importantly, it has the story, the compelling characters, and a revenge arc.
Also, I mean, the soundtrack is also fucking fantastic. On top of that,
oh, absolutely.
On top of that, I would say that the only reason the other two God Eater games are not on here is because we haven't played them yet.
It's one day.
One day. I was thinking about this year, but then we thought of Demon Souls, so
Doing Demon Souls shenanigans, yes.
I think that would be funny. So my next game, I don't know if I would call this an odd curveball, but Mega Man Star Force. And I've kind of linked the three together because I can't really choose between the one. I do think Mega Man Star Force is technically the best game, because I haven't finished that one yet. But Mega Man Star Force is one game that like a lot of people kind of wrote off as like lesser Battle Network. And it's it might seem like that at first because of how the game at first glance you might find difficulty understanding because it's not like Battle Network. Like, or at least it is like Battle Network, but it is very different. Like, first and foremost, you have 3 panels instead of 6, and it's in third person. And you have to kind of like, with your battleships, sometimes you have to like teleport in front of the enemy in order to damage them. But once you kind of understand what it is about, I think it's a very fun game. That has a story about, like, the first game story is mostly about, grief. Like, main character lost his dad and he doesn't go to school anymore, and he kind of, like, wastes his life away, I guess, to an extent. But then he meets, like, Omega Sis, or Mega Rock in the Japanese, and, it becomes Mega Man, like, he finally gains friends again. He, gains a sense of, like, justice as well from, like, wanting to save the world at some point. Like, all of this is also based off, like, astrology in an interesting way. And the soundtrack is still pretty good. Maybe the graphics have aged a little bit, being on the DS and all. They're trying to do 3D here and there. But I think all 3 games are fun. And the only reason I put them above, like, Battle.net 2 and 3 and stuff is because with Battle.net 2 and 3 and 5, I can name some flaws. With Mega Man Star Force, I think the only, Mega Man Star Force, I think, has less flaws. There are less things I really would complain about. Like, it doesn't have anything annoying to travel on, for example. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Ennis.
I had it somewhere in my mind. Metal Gear Rising. Or as we said last time, when Jess chose the Metal Gear Rising,
yeah,
the beauty of that game was purely in both simplicity in its quickness in its storytelling, while still being really interesting and cool. The combat being very solid and you say I guess addicting is probably the best word to use at this moment. As well as what was the other benefit? Just to be pure meminess that you can get out of it as well. All of it just combined made it a very, very great and fun game throughout.
Yeah, I love this game. Alright, my next game is Fire Emblem Three Houses, actually. So I've only played 2 Fire Emblem games. You can call me a tourist, I guess.
Yeah, me too. Oh, me too. That's why the most easiest one is on the list.
I don't play a lot of strategy games, right? And I ended up trying, like, Awakening because I had a 3DS and I happened to have the game, so I thought... I think the game came with my 3DS, actually. We got it secondhand, I think. And I tried it, give it a try, and, I really like that game. But Three Houses to me, well... the story is, like, put into 4 routes, so I can't comment on all of them. But that also... already gives you a lot of different options to play the game, and that's basically what puts this game so high up, is that there's so many ways you can play this game, there's so many things you can do with your units. Obviously you have the choice to, like, turn off permadeath, so you don't have to constantly, like, save scum if you want that, but you can turn it back on as well. Many different difficulty options. They added a whole new route as well with the DLC. And graphically, yes, there's some low-quality graphics here and there, but I love the animations for, like, the in-battle screens and shit. And I do still think... I do like some of the character designs, though. This game, Fire Emblem 3 Houses specifically, the character design is all different. Like, every person has different... Like, so... The character designs vary a lot in quality and just, like, nice aesthetics, I guess. But I do think the overall game is very fun. I think if you don't like strategy games, you should just give this one a try, and you have a lot of content. You will not be bored with it. It's kind of like Persona 5, where I can play it for a long time too, and I wouldn't get bored of it very quickly. I think you played the game too, right?
Yes, no, I sadly haven't beaten it yet, but I did enjoy it. I think that it looks great. The music is certainly really great as well. Which Fire Emblem that doesn't disappoint often, which is a praise that you can give to all Fire Emblem games at that point.
The opening song is also just majestic, man. And God Shattering Star, oh, Jeff's good. The final battle battle as well. The final battle music that happens before the boss fight, I guess, is also good. I said boss fights, whatever. What is your number 44?
Digimon Dawn or Dusk.
Both work. That's an interesting one. I think the only reason I don't put the Digimon DS games so high is because I find them difficult to play. Whether they're pretty grind heavy, and Lost Evolution I would put higher, but I can't understand Japanese.
I don't mind.
Just Dawn.
Yeah, it can be either or. Just do Dawn.
Yeah. I do think they're good games though. Even if they're pretty grind heavy.
In my case, when it comes to Digimon,
yeah, this will annoy someone.
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit busy because food seems to be ready, so I want to get to 50 or 45 at least. But when it comes to Digimon Dawn or Dusk, the grind was never that big of a deal for me. But I feel like it feels really fun with the Digimons. That the story is not, it's pretty simple, but the gameplay loop is very satisfying, very fun. The grinding is not, it is satisfying when you get that really good Digimon, and when you learn like the how you can use this gameplay to your advantage, it feels so satisfying to do it. And for me, it became that game that I can really easily pick up early enough, and then just play it and probably beat it real quick. I almost got like everything in that game too. Like I was like 99% done, and the last 1% was play online.
And that,
just play online once.
Yeah, no, that's kind of impossible. Other than trying to fucking defeat fucking Imperial Dramon Paladin mode with the fucking twin training Digimon, which somehow are as strong as he is. What the fuck?
You see, they did what I probably did and use cheat codes, max XP, and then keep going back and forth.
Well, my next game is actually gonna be Mega Man Battle Network 2. You might be thinking, but why not 3? And I love 3. But the traveling.
Back to the first point we make, all the way at the beginning.
Yeah, Battle Network 2, right? Like also has the fucking backtracking of Destiny. Like that's definitely a thing there too. Yes, but Mega Man Battle Network 2 to me, like, I played Battle Network 1 a lot because a friend of mine showed me that game. I had no idea there were like more games after 1, right? 2 was a doorway to a lot of YouTubers and Let's Players to me. Battle Network 2 basically caused me to watch a lot of Let's Plays. So yeah, it's very important to me. Oddly enough, right? But I also just...
Yes.
Sometimes I find this one the easiest one to just kind of pick up and finish. For some weird reason. Now, doing the post-game, that's another story. That's all the Battle Network games. Doing the post-games is a bit difficult. But I find this one is very easy to just kind of pick up and play. I love Battle Network 2 a lot. It also introduces the style changes and shit, which is really fucking nice. And, Battle Network 2 and 3 to me, like, they're kind of together, right? Like, Battle Network 3 story is good, because Battle Network 2 story built it up, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Battle Network 2 is a very important one to me. Let's name your 45th one so you can beat.
And it's for a moment, and I'll put Mega Man 03.
03, yeah, that's interesting. So not 2.
Not 2. And it's after some more mellowing, after some more time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
But looking back on it, I find just 3's answering of some questions, raising up the stakes, adding the whole Omega part in there. I find all of those things on a really good stake. I also, after I think I replayed 3 at some point, find the gameplay also be very in a way also a lot more getting better than 2 in that sense. Whereas I think the Verifine 2 can be a nice, a good improvement from 1. I find just 3 being a lot more solid, as well as having the story being good, strong. So 4, I find again having a really good ending to the story, which felt great. As how my emotional rambling goes.
Alright. So, you gonna go eat now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat now.
Alright, I'm just gonna do some Poke in the meantime, I guess, until you're back. Yeah. I mean, I
can't believe it. He says Poke woke. Did he? I can't believe
he's part of the woke left. No, I am part of the racist white with my 5 black friends, my 6 Mexican friends, and my 7 Asian friends. I'm joking. I'm a filthy centrist who plays video games, faps to hentai. I'm not that impressive. Leave me alone, please. Let me just pull up Pokemon while we wait for Ennis. It was actually difficult past this point to make a list because I've got some games as well, but there comes a point where I'm just gonna put a lot of like games from the franchise that we've already picked because it's also difficult because sometimes when I pick favorites better than just best games, I also think about, well, what had the most impact on me? What do I have the most memories for? Like, what do I care the most about? What do I find interesting? And also sometimes it's like, well, this game is almost as good as the other game I put on the list, but I put it far lower. And that's because, well, I already have the other game that's on the list, you know what I mean? Like, I have Mega Man X4 and 1 on the list, but Mega Man X2 is a fine game too, right? But I don't remember X2 as much. Even though I know that if I'll play it, I'll probably like it more than some of the other games on the list as well. And it's probably a better game than some of the other games on the list as well. But I have then more, memories of the other games that I've played. Sometimes it's just simple, sometimes it's just a childhood game, to be fair, because I actually do have Emerald on the list, I think, and Emerald, right, I love Pokemon Emerald because it's a childhood game of mine and I have a lot of nostalgia for it. But there are plenty of other Pokemon games that I think are just, like, better, objectively speaking. Like, I put Sun and Moon lower than Emerald, but in reality I think Sun and Moon is a more fun game to play. But I have more memories with Emerald. Emerald. I could start speaking Uwu speak at some point. I could start doing it. But yeah, like, we'll just, Oh, I guess it doesn't do that right now. Hold on a minute. Give me a second. There you go. Wow, this is wrong. What happened? Is this who I am? Is this what I've done? Why have I done this? It's probably for the YouTube video, I think. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't get rid of this though. That's kind of weird. Get rid of that. We don't need any of that. Alright, nice. I found it like, I was also really thinking about like Digimon games, right? Because I do love Digimon, but sometimes I do think about how I find it kind of difficult to really like get into the DS games as much. I would put Lost Evolution somewhere on the list as well. If it weren't for the fact that it was in Japanese and I don't understand what I'm doing, because it would mostly be fine. But the problem is getting the evolutions back for you to evolve your Digimon. And there's some like parts that I don't know what I'm failing at exactly, because the game doesn't tell me what I'm doing wrong. And I can't find it anyway, because there's not really a guide or anything. So it becomes a difficult story for me. And all the types are reversed, yes, okay. Steel Rock. I'm pretty certain that is... okay. Oh, if you fly... if Storapia will fuck him up, okay. Damn, he survived. And lowered my fucking speed. Actually, quick attack should be super effective as well. Yeah, there you go. It's funny, because I really love Pokemon's gameplay. I really thought I would put Black and White 2 higher up, but when I think about it, there's a lot of other games I just love. I think I'd probably put like a Pokemon game higher. If it were like my dream Pokemon game. We don't need Smackdown, I don't think. No, we don't need a scary face either. Like I'm already here. Man, it's been a while. We have plenty of money for now. Toxic Orb. We don't really have a glide score though. Can we reroll? Wow, this is worse. Citrus Berry might work out though. Give it to... Sylveon is pretty tanky actually, we can give it to him. Look, it's a Poliwhirl. Oh no, it's a Poliwhirl. Hold on. Yeah, okay, no, this is fine. I never really thought of setting up, but it wouldn't be a dumb idea. It's just that, I mean, Lovecup could use Stealth Rock, and it is interesting. Like, there's plenty of switching going to happen, but I don't know if I should use it. Actually, the types are different now, aren't they? It would hit grass types now instead, and ground types and steel types. Oh man, it actually would be useful. But I only have 4 moves. But it is a very useful move. But now, flying types resisted as well instead of fire types. Ice types resisted too now as well. I don't know if it's that useful. Yeah, I might have to say no to the Stealth Rock for now. Give you more defense. What the fuck? What? Wow, this is interesting. Okay, he's a new mechanic. It's a tough battle. Gain a baton. Perhaps, what is... Okay, what does it do? Alright. Oh, this is a quest that. Oh, fuck, it's actually pretty good. That is a good move. What is it? It accidentally very hard to use this type of terms. Oh man, can I give this to someone else? This is a good attack. What the fuck? I kind of regret now not giving it to someone else. Wow. Huh. Oh, it's sad. They added Team Skull to the game. Damn. The double intimidate goes hard. I have work up. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, did you? Ah, motherfucker. I also have to follow him now. Oh, that is a problem. Oh, it's only special attack though, I'm faster. Believe I erased his wing attack, but it can't miss, so it's better. Wow. I just keep getting impressed with Rogue, man. I really wish honestly, Game Freak hired this man. Actually, don't you ruin them. I think there should be a game mode, actually, in all Pokemon games. Arbok is a bit problematic for me, except it isn't, because I've got Jump Love now, which is... It's not something you would probably have ever said, but here we are. And I can use this dance now, which... Wow, still does fucking nothing, because Jump Love is a shitty Pokemon. I really wish I gave a different Pokemon this move. Punch is a move I definitely want to learn. Yeah. Actually, are Dark types even... Yeah, I guess they're useful against fighting types and fairy types now. Okay. Now they are useful. Egg voucher! Yeah, I guess I'll do that then. Oh no. No, wait. Yeah, okay. So I am looking for a different Pokemon now. Was I looking for a water type though? I don't really remember. Yeah, I'd probably pick it over normal. Should I pick it over a normal headbutt though? Actually, when I think about it, but what was this psychic darkness? That actually kind of makes sense. Headbutt would now hit the rock types hard, but those flame charge. Oh yeah, no. Next defense. Another Poliwag. Yeah, that's bound to happen at some point. Let's try to catch it. Let me think about this one. I think a water type is just not as useful in this version of the game. It only hits grass and... Yeah, I'm even on the lake. This is a mistake. That rhymed. Egg voucher. Alright, so what do I have against poison types? Fairy types now, I guess, yeah. Yeah. Alright. Actually, this makes sense to me. Kinda, yeah. And he missed. What are his stats anyways? It's shit and shit. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be very useful if I'm gonna be honest here. Poison types, right? So they would hit. What would they hit? They would hit steel types. Which I can know, but you know, most types can hit steel types nowadays. This version. Poison types. What would they even hit? That would be defensive against psychic types, I guess. And ground types. But to be honest, I don't think it's gonna be very useful. All things considered. Like, when I really think about it, it's not gonna be that useful. Just gonna quick attack at this point. Like, I don't think he's gonna live any attack at all. Oh, he is gonna live an attack. Oh, he can do that, okay. Alright, I guess he's very defensive. I kind of forgot about it. Yeah, kill him. Please. Sylveon never had an animated sprite, so I guess I'm not surprised if they don't put it in. Light screen. Oh man, him being a screen set okay, that's pretty interesting. This was for special attacks. Oh, that actually might be a good idea. Or to have him do screens. Man, I do feel quite hosed by these walls, despite having Lock plus C, C plus. Apparently. Don't believe it anymore at this point. This is perfect. Damn. It has killed him so hard. Right. Yeah, that's this Meowth, I guess. Okay, so let's think about this. We can replace our grass type, potentially. We can also go find a ghost type. Now, ghost types, they are defensive against other ghost types, I guess. Yes, that makes sense. Ghost types do not hit psychic types. Ghost types now hit dark types, which we already established we don't actually need anymore, I don't think. Then again, it would be a good defense for Sylveon, I guess. And for Tyranitar as well. And also for Taurus. Wow, yeah. I guess we should go for a ghost type. What else? No, there's not much that hit ghost type hard bug types with now. They would hit Sylveon too. They would also hit the Taurus. And they would also hit. Holy shit, bug types are crazy. I could go to the tall grass and get a bug type. That would be great. I need to find a good bug type, I guess. Like Scizor would be. No, Scizor would be shit now, actually, when I think about it. Like, holy goddamn, that would be bad. Scizor would be awful when you think about it. But also, like, bug types cannot hit dark types very well, which I want to defend against. Oh. Now suddenly I see the use of a psychic type, actually. They would also be defensive against bug types. So we should look for a psychic type instead. Yeah. And grass types are
Shit's fucked, yo.
Jesus fucking Christ. Came out of nowhere. What the fuck?
Graveyard has ghost type Pokemon, right? Maybe that's where you can also get a psychic.
Yeah, that's just. We just love.
I'm spitballing here.
We just love Grave. Yeah. Also, by the way, they added a bunch of things to the game. You wanna know what?
That's cool.
Do you wanna know what they added?
What did they add?
They added 2 new things. First of all, they added Team Skull to the game. You know, simple thing.
Ah, that's cool.
And they added new events.
Ah, that's shit.
So
that's nice.
I came across this Pokemon that was just lonely and was dancing, and you can either choose to battle it, choose to show it a dance, or learn a dance from it. And so I gave Jumpluff here gained its dance, which does 90 power whatever type the Pokemon is.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now they're adding their own skills in there.
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
Holy shit. Anyway, we're gonna put that back on hold. We're gonna go back to the fucking list. So for my next gay. I know what I
I
said.
don't believe that you're gay.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I'm gonna link them together because they're both equally as good. But I would personally go with Mario Galaxy 2. And, you know, what can I say? These two are very, very solid platformers with amazing orchestral music. You know, the first game has a little bit of, like, lore and story here and there, which is fine. But, you know, you don't play a Mario game for the story. But
First.
now, a lot of people have memories of the first game more, which is why they like the first game more. But I have more memories with the second game, specifically because when Mario Galaxy 1 came out, it was just a normal day for me. With Galaxy 2, I played during summer vacation, and it was the most chill summer vacation I've ever had. You know, nice weather. I was at my dad with my sister, and we were like just outside of the TV, just inside the house, but you can see it from outside. And so we played the game outside basically, with like a swimming pool next to it. It was so fucking chill, man. So I just have a lot of good memories of Mario Galaxy 2. It was just such a fun game, and such a relaxing time. I'll never be as relaxed ever again. I think Anna's you played Galaxy 1?
Yeah, I played Galaxy 1. I've beaten it. I was almost there to getting all the purple stars, and I after like being left with like 3 or something, I rage quitted.
It is a fantastic game. It still looks really nice too.
Yeah, that's it. Is it nice when you know your first really good looking game, Super Mario Sunshine, was on the Nintendo GameCube, and then you make the next one on the Wii, which is just an overclocked GameCube.
It's literally two GameCube stuck together.
Yeah, and you know that's the beauty of it. It's like really Super Mario Galaxy just showed us that we reached peak like graphics a long time ago.
Man.
I feel
The biggest difference between this game and like Odyssey, Sunshine, and 64 is that they're a lot more linear. But I think that in itself can also be kind of fun because the levels are like pretty straightforward because of it and pretty well designed after that. And I think Mario Odyssey and A Hat in Time just do it better when it comes to like the open world, like the more open design or level design compared to like Sunshine on 64. Anyway, your game.
Smash Brothers Brawl. No, not Brawl. Ultimate.
Right, Ultimate.
And when it came out, and I got my hands on it at some point, I have literally done as much as I could without, and almost got all achievements except those for the what they call it online, because you know Smash has its own achievement list. So I got almost all of them and left it with like online, which I'm like, yeah, you can suck my balls, Nintendo. I'm not paying for that shit. And after that, I've played like a lot of it with my brothers. A lot of it, so I have some good memories with it, some good plays with it. I got like all of the characters as well.
I think it's a good choice. Smash Bros. Ultimate is a really good game, and you know, if this is your favorite game, I find it completely understandable as well, because it is a fantastic game. It's basically a celebration of games in general in a fighting game, you know?
Yeah, it's not a game graveyard, it's like a certain other game.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna probably talk about Smash as well, because I do have it on the list too, but you know, so I'll just leave it at that. I guess it's my turn now?
Yeah.
The next game is Dishonored. Yeah, Dishonored. This game, I think is pretty interesting. It's a first-person game, but not really... It's a stealth game, but you can also choose to go full violence, but the ending and shit, everything is all determined on what you do in the game, so... You can also change that with each stage. You can go back to the stages and do whatever. If you didn't like how you did it, you can just redo things, but... Basically, there's this thing called like chaos meter, basically, and the more chaotic things become, the more you're veering towards the other two endings. Now, you have the good ending, the normal ending, and the bad ending. The normal ending is basically if you just kill some people, but not everyone. You don't go on a killing spree and you do some stealth. The good ending you get, you don't actually have to get like you do perfect stealth, but if you mostly like don't kill as many people, you can kill the Reapers. But the Reapers, like, basically this game has like a zombie plague, right? And the more people you kill, the more zombies you get. And that's also just an interesting thing. Like, levels actually change depending on what you do in previous levels. That keeps it being interesting. You get a lot of different abilities as well. Either veering towards stealth or veering towards violence. You do get a gun, but it's not a first-person shooter. It's literally that old-style gun, which does work, but you have limited ammo. You can otherwise go for like the crossbow, which is the silent option. So that's usually what you want to do. It's just a very interesting game that takes place during the, oh man, what do you call it? Is that the Victorian age? I don't really know what you would call it, but like, it's basically an age where they have like a water elevator for ships and shit. And your job is to basically save the princess, right? From a bunch of conspirators that want to like take over the country. They're like high-ranking nobles and shit.
Yes.
Yeah, it is fun, somewhat historically accurate. You're trying to save a child from a brothel, 10 out of 10. That's the princess, by the way. The princess is sent. They took the princess and they sent her to a brothel. What the fuck? You save her though, don't worry. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy, but this is generally a really interesting game.
Alright, for my next one, it's Bloodstained.
A Ritual of the Night.
Yes, specifically Ritual of the Night, because I cannot play the classic Castlevania games to save my life. Just when you add just a bit too much platforming, I die.
Just get good.
Yeah, I should, but I don't wanna be bothered. I have other things to do.
Wait until we do the fucking Mario and the Mario Wonders game and Super Mario. Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Brothers. The multiplayer is gonna be funny. Actually, Ennis, you are gonna play Curse of the Moon.
Ah, damn it.
Because the second game is multiplayer.
Really now?
Yes.
Insane.
Hold on.
But alright, you know, I do like my Metroidvanias a lot, and when it comes down to it, with it, I think Bloodstained did a really good job of like taking what Castlevania Symphony of the Night did and just doing greatly. It has a story which I do find kind of on the whatever end of things, not the most memory of it, but it does do a lot of things well. The soundtrack is still good to listen to. You have all of these different weapons and stuff like as if you're playing an RPG. It's a good time.
You are playing an RPG.
Yes.
Yes.
You even get to have all these different types of weapons to go around with, and even get a bunny suit.
Man, getting all these fucking abilities as well, man. It's just, you can sometimes make it really powerful like abilities. You can go fucking ham. You can upgrade them too, which is really cool.
Yes.
My next game will give me a Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. So I had a difficult one with this one because I was thinking at first I like Link to the Past more, and to an extent I would probably rather play Link to the Past than Link Between Worlds. But when I really think about it, I just had such a good adventure with Ocarina of Time. It really felt like an adventure, and now I can definitely, you know, there's some criticisms, which is why I would pick, otherwise would pick Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past, but I think what Ocarina of Time does really well is just this sense of, like, adventure. Like, there's a story. The story isn't, like, you know, super special, but it's good enough to keep you invested in the game itself. I generally, like, you know, I played the 3DS first, so the graphics are pretty good, right? But, you know, like, original graphics, they do have a charm to them, but, you know, they are a bit dated. And honestly, my biggest reason for saying do the 3DS version is the frame rate, because it's made better. The frame rate is just, like, the frame rate in Legend of Zelda, like, was pretty fucking low. And that might be fine for, like, people of the past, and I would probably, you know, work with it as well, but, man. But the soundtrack is good. Like, I've only played 3 Zelda games, right? So that's why this is so high. The soundtrack is pretty good. The overall game structure is fine. Really, the biggest problem is the open playing field. You know, the Hyrule fields, yeah, they're fucking big. Empty world, but nothing in it. And most AAA game developers thought, wow, that's gonna be our entire open world. But I generally did enjoy the adventure of it, getting all those upgrades, solving all the puzzles with the dungeons, the atmospheric music that perfectly works with the creepiness, the kind of creepiness of some of the game has. It's generally just a very entertaining game, or a very memorable game, I should say. Yeah. Oh, and it's your pick. Actually, I've never played this game before.
No, I haven't.
There's just so many things that happen in this game that's just memorable. It really makes.
See, I'm gonna look at just straight in the eye. I'm gonna look at the Yuji profile pic straight in the eye with my own pick, and I'm gonna go with Link to the Past.
That was my next pick. Link to the Past is also a fantastic game.
It's the game that I played the most, actually, when it comes to the Zelda games. I just like how, you know, it's a very simple game with a really cool map, which you can do a lot of things in. And the music is also really nice. I like it. Not much to say about it other than just, you know, it's a good time. And welcoming to a lot of really welcoming to Zelda players, I think, or first-time players. Don't play Breath of the Wild and expect it to be Link to the Past.
You know, just to diversify things a bit. So my next pick is also going to be Link to the Past, but it's going to be linked together with Link Between Worlds, because Link Between Worlds is just Link to the Past, but like in 3D and like different. It is not exactly the same game. It is different enough. But it's more of it's very close to, like, a lot of other things. A lot of areas are similar, but it just switches things up enough to the point where the game is very interesting. In a sense, I would say it's probably better than Link to the Past, because, you know, you do have some nice modern things here and there. The like system with the items are really interesting because you can basically vent all of the items from the beginning of the game, and you can practically go whatever dungeon route you want very early on in the game, like even earlier than Link to the Past. Like there's even more freedom in this game to what you can do, and you can upgrade all of these items too. Which makes it really fun. And the only reason I picked like this below like Ocarina of Time is that, well, I think that both Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past, they are much faster. You know, they take less time to do the same things, and that's what makes like the pacing is a little bit better, and that's what makes why I would probably play them first. But when I think of memorability, I think Ocarina of Time just has a bit more story and world building to it that makes it interesting. But I think these ones are way easier to pick up and play as well. Yeah, these ones are super, super good. You know, you can still have like challenging dungeons with interesting puzzles. You got some extra things you can do here and there as well. This game, Link Between Worlds, also has the arena, which is pretty funny, pretty interesting as well, because you can fight a bunch of monsters and get money that way pretty easily as well. Yeah, both these three games are all very good. Anyway, 49.
Yeah, it's I think I'll put Final Fantasy 7 and 10 next to each other.
It's funny because they're pretty close to me as well, but I think I prefer one over the other. I'll say later. So, Ennis, Final Fantasy 7 and 10. But I guess I'm just gonna try to get both pictures there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do both. For when it comes, why I put both of them like next to each other, because I do like them. I do like the story, the characters, the adventure that the characters go through, the struggles they face, right? But it's just, at 10 the gameplay it changes to be a bit more more focused on the turn-based bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it really is turn-based and not with the ATB bar, which is funny because that is just a turn. But and I do find that just the combat to be just a tad bit too different. The 3 party members, both of them have 3 party members, and for me, there's this weird thing where I like more party members. Like, it's a weird thing for me.
Advent Dark Force has 6 party members.
Yes, it's great. I like more party members to control. I like to micromanage. I'm crazy like that.
I can imagine a fucking the Falcon game where not only do all these characters show up for the final boss to each say a line of dialogue, all 30 of them, but now you can also control all 30 of them at the same time.
Imagine you play a Yeast game, but you have to control like 7 different characters at the same time while dodging bullets.
God damn. That sounds crazy.
That sounds crazy, yes.
I guess it's my turn now. Yeah. Actually, my next game is going to be... it's an indie game. It's Crosscode. Now, this game is interesting, right? Because I actually kind of compare it to Zelda a little bit, because it's also a top-down adventure, and there are dungeons with puzzle elements as well, but it's far closer to like an action game. Because you're fighting a lot more often. But Crosscode is interesting, because if I were to also say, like, I love Legacy of Goku 2, for example, right? I think the battle system of this game would fit that game perfectly. Like, if I want them to make another Legacy of Goku game, I want the battle system to be similar to this game.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think the art, I'm not too fan of the like main artist's art style, but they have like the real anime art style for like the audio tracks, and that looks pretty cool as well. Like, but the in-game like pixel art is really good as well. The soundtrack is very nice. It's very long though. Together with the DLC, it took about 80 hours for me to beat it. There are a lot of side quests, but I think what you will find interesting, and is that you can actually get very different builds out of it as well. Like, even though you have the same fighting style and weapons, it basically set in a video game inside a video game. And there's more to it than that. There's a more story to it to that as well. But essentially, you get a bunch of different equipments that do a lot of different things. And you can kind of like choose different stats you can build towards as well. You can get very different experiences with this game as well when you replay it, making it pretty interesting. You can try a lot of different things. There are a lot of side quests and some levels of humor to this as well. Because sometimes the humor is kind of like, hey, we're inside a video game and we're all gamers doing weird gamer things, guys. Hey, hello, isn't that funny? It was pretty funny though. I did enjoy it. But you know, the story is interesting enough. The characters are also interesting enough. But I do think you mostly play it for the adventure as a whole, right? Like the gameplay, the platform puzzles that you have to do, which isn't really like platforming in the traditional sense, so I shouldn't be too scared of it. Don't worry about it. And it's mostly optional as well, because it's mostly for getting like chests and shit. There's a lot you can do in this game. And a lot of side quests as well that are, you know, they're interesting enough. They're not like 14 or Kakarot where it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, kill me now. They don't take too long. But you are gonna do a lot of side activities if you want to. And what I really enjoy with the battle system is how do you do the super attacks as well. Because each super attack is assigned to a different action. Like when you stand still, you do a super action. When you do a forward slash, like when you do you can do a forward super attack. That's basically like a dash attack. You can do a guard attack, or you can do a shooting attack. With this game, you don't just have melee options, but you also have shooting options. Which that's one of my biggest critique, really, is unless you're playing on console, which I assume is better, the controls assigned to it. When I played with a controller, like I use the mouse when I have to shoot, because when I use the controller, the analog stick just jitters like shit. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing wrong. So I just use the mouse keyboard, especially when I'm doing puzzles. The puzzles can be a little bit overbearing. And I think that's kind of like the only reason I put them below Legend of Zelda games. Because Legend of Zelda games, their simplicity just make it easy enough to keep playing it. With Crosscode, you have to do, when you do the puzzles, you don't just simply have to figure out the puzzles. You also have to move a lot while figuring out the puzzles. Which can be a bit overwhelming, but I still think this is a fantastic game and I highly recommend people trying it out. Yeah, that was it. Basically, Ines, your turn.
14. It has finally found a spot. I was waiting on spot 50 because I have a mixed feelings about this game after some years of playing.
Same.
Where I really did enjoy A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Feel. No, that's a movie. No, fuck, Heaven's Word. Keep doing that. And I love the difficult content that also brings into it. Bahamut being actually my favorite one after all the struggles we've been through. And yeah, mainly there for the gameplay more than I am for the story. But you know, the story is important as, you know, why am I spending 4,000 hours? How many hours is that now on Steam? Give me a moment.
Oh my fucking god.
It's like, you know, how many hours have I spent on this game? You know, you have to have a compelling story, a fun story to keep you hooked, right?
Well, it's so much the story itself, it's just the pacing of it.
Yeah, and after that, you know, you notice some quality of it going down, like the homogenations of jobs that has been screamed at with 14 players. The
less you say
older players.
The less you say about Stormblood story, the better.
And yet, Stormblood story being certainly quite a mess, and mucho texto being for Shadowbringers. You know, I've looked it up, by the way, right? When it came to Shadowbringers.
Mucho texto.
And a lot of people would call you like low IQ.
The funny thing is, I do read. You just have to be interested in reading it in the first place.
Yes, exactly. But you know, there's a mixed bag to how I feel about this game. Overall, though, I do enjoy it. I did love it. You know, I spent so much money on it by just simply paying the subscription. You fucking imagine.
All right.
It's you know, it's a good time, but be careful about the mucho texto.
Mucho texto. I'm gonna put a game. I'm gonna link a franchise, I guess, because I'm gonna pick Smash Brothers. Just all of them. Super Smash Brothers. All of them. Because, to me, like, obviously, some are better than others, right? Like, 64 has aged quite a bit. But I genuinely think I can just play any of this game and just have fun with it, you know? And I have memory, besides maybe the Wii version, I don't have much memory of those, but I have a good memory with, like, Melee, Brawl, and Ultimate. Like, these are really, really fantastic games. that Melee was fun with its like arcade mode being really entertaining and a lot of references to all their games. Brawl was just like maybe the main campaign can be a bit uninteresting at times, but when you have a friend to play it with, it's just very fun. Soundtrack,
Yes.
I mean, it's the soundtrack of all the game. Like, it's just the combat is very simple, but what I did with the simple aspect of the game, they gave a lot of characters very unique gameplay styles to the point where there's still some good depth to it and a meta to it. Some people would call it a party game rather than a fighting game, and I just say, like, listen, if I fight in it, it's a fighting game. Fuck you. I beat people up. It's a fighting game. Fuck you. It's a fighting game. What more do you want me to say? Unfortunately, right, as I have become an adult now, I don't really have anyone to play the game with, besides Ennis, but Ennis is not always around to play the game with. So I don't really have much, like, as much memories with Ultimate as I do with the other games, but I think Ultimate is a fantastic game because everyone is fucking here!
Everyone is indeed fucking.
Yeah, that too, if I look at the Rule 34. Anyway, it's your turn.
Paint echoes.
Hold on. Paint echoes? Faint echoes?
Chained.
Chained echoes. Interesting.
Chained echoes is like is that one RPG game that has a really good story attached to it. At some point, at some point, that's a stupid statement. It has a really good story and and a good gameplay mechanic going on, where it's like Final Fantasy, and every character has their. It's like Final Fantasy 6 actually, if you think about it. And with every character having their own way of fighting, you have to do some stuff to get them. And the story being interesting, you get the right mechas, which is very important for me because I like Armored Core.
He likes the mecha, man. He likes the robots. Who doesn't like big robots? They're cool.
All right. You would.
I should actually show you a background, like a background I have, because I think you'd like it.
Probably would.
Yeah, was that?
And overall, I recommend the game. It's really good. It's solid. Yes.
All right. My next game is actually Mega Man Battle Network 3. Yeah, finally I got over the fucking traveling and had a good time. That's my origins, my origin story. Mega Man Battle Network 3 is still a fantastic game. Really, it really is just the traveling that's painful, and I do find it kind of annoying that you only have one style change, like that you can have instead of like the two in Battle Network 2. But it's still, there's a lot of things you can do with the customization. There's a lot of things you can do within the game itself. It has to, like, a large battle chip folder as well.
The largest, I believe.
Yeah, it probably has the most content as well, with many different like secret bosses and like the huge secret area. Also, probably one of the most challenging bosses in the game. But its story is generally pretty good. There's some high stakes here and there. There's some good world building here and there as well. Some good characterization. Characters actually do like a lot more in the story as well. Like Dex leaves because he wants to become a better person, really. Actually, when I think about it, Mill and I don't really do a whole lot when I think about it.
Nothing changes.
I don't really remember. Nothing changes. No, Mill fucks Len eventually. That's pretty important, Dennis.
Yeah, but that's the end, of the sagas. That's when it happens.
At least we have Rule 34. What? Anyway. Ah, man. There's a lot of neat little hidden mechanics to it, Battle Network 3, and it's generally just a good game. Well, and it's... I think I can also change the soundtrack for a bit. Hold on a minute. But do you have any teams you would like to recommend?
Yes. Not at the moment, sadly. Maybe some, maybe inspiration to you or something from Genshin Impact could work.
Oh yeah, okay. Genshin.
Like I was thinking of Liyue, but I don't remember the name of the map. Like
Someone
just
posted the
explore in
full
general.
OST. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, no, that I don't want that.
Just relaxing OST. I built a Chi-Chi.
No, not that. That makes only trauma.
I built a Chi-Chi. Oh man.
Only bringing trauma into the stream now, Jess.
Okay, that's fine.
But no, I'm joking.
I built a Chi-Chi. Anyway, what's your next game? Genshin Impact. Amazing.
Kingdom Rush.
Oh, Kingdom. Have I even heard of that game?
No, you probably did it.
I never.
It's one of those games that when I was young, I found you can take whatever. This one is fine, that one is fine. It's just I'm putting the whole series in there. Right. I found this when I was young and was playing on armored games. That side.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yes, and this was just a fun tower defense game that I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying this game. It's pretty fun. And I noticed they're adding more stuff to it. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. They had a phone version, which I'm like, oh shit, when did they get that shit that happening? And it kept growing, and then you find out that it gets sequels and everything else, and it gets bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh man, it has been a part of my childhood for one side, but from the other side, I'm like, it has some really, it's just a really solid like tower defense game that you can take your time on, just chill. Sometimes stress out because fuck, it's difficult. But it promises you, a really good time while you try to defend the kingdom from imminent death.
Nice. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Well, what kind of game? What was the genre again?
The tower defense.
Tower defense. You actually, I barely played any tower defense besides like as a mini game, but you are more into that genre, right?
It seems like it. Yeah, it's like I don't have like fully my attention to it, but I seem to be playing those a lot.
Well, my next game is a game Ennis listed, but it would be indeed God Eater. I have no experience with Monster Hunter, but I really think about it too, because like the God Eater, I think it's not just Monster Hunter but anime and story, but I also can't help it when I look at the two games. It feels God Eater is a bit faster paced with the gameplay, which is like something I like more. Like it's more about the fighting in and of itself. Where Monster Hunter, it's also more about the preparations for the hunt and like using different tools and shit. From what I understand, anyway, this is layman's perspective here. I find it very
yes, to the degree, yes.
As I said, I enjoy the story is interesting, and I like the characters. Multiplayer is a lot of fun as well with the game. The soundtrack is also very fucking fantastic. I love the ending song, God and Man. Fucking amazing song. One of my favorite songs. And the monster designs are really fucking cool too. I love the world setting as well with like the post-apocalyptic, and the monsters eat literally fucking everything, even themselves. And the only thing that can kill them are people that like use the same oracle cells to fucking kill them, like calling them god eaters and god dogs. It's so fucking cool. It's fucking amazing. Good game. I love it. It's sometimes a bit difficult. God Eater specifically is very long because it is like just 3 games put together. Basically. Alright, I guess I should say it's 2 games put together in a sense, but it's fun. It's interesting. Though at some point, it kind of is the same problem that I think Monster Hunter has as well, where it gets a little bit repetitive because a lot of locations are the same. A lot of monsters, you fight a lot of the same monsters at some point, which again, like, more emphasizes that it's more fun to play with a friend, to kind of grind with here and there. But if you just want to do the main campaign, you don't have to grind that much. Just at some point, you might want to do some grinding to get your gear up to date. The rest is still, like, skill-based to an extent.
Pokemon Explorers of Sky.
Ah. Well, Ennis, go ahead. Give a description.
The Explorers of Sky is like just picking up the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeons game, and then I guess with a different setting, a different world. But the story being even longer, more focused, and you think you're finally done with the story. You know how long it takes to just unlock evolution. You know that's how long just the main story alone goes, and it is quite, you know, it's quite a ride. It is a lot. It can be a lot more difficult, and as the reason why I wouldn't use it as played as much as I would do with maybe Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. Again, the accessibility for me as of this moment is one of them I can emulate. The other one is on the DS, which it can be kind of finicky to do on the phone, as an example. But otherwise, it's a very solid one.
Mine? Oh no, this is the Chi-Chi one.
You finally pulled the Chi-Chi.
I pulled the Chi-Chi. Lost a 50-50. At pity 90. I love that. That was one of my favorite videos. My next game might be a little bit of a surprise to some, but it's actually Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Don't you like the ugly bug woman?
That is like she crashes OBS. No. I know. It's
those bug eyes.
The bug eyes, even OBS doesn't like the bug eyes, though. Like, you know, that aside...
You should probably use that picture to represent Jedi Fallen Order. No, I'm joking.
That aside, the game does look really good, but, you know, that's not the biggest reason. The biggest reason is, like, this game... Yeah, this game is a Souls-like. You know, it's but it's, you know, it's fast-paced. It's fun. I think this is, like, one of the better Star Wars games, because it also gives the Star Wars feeling quite well for the most part, I think. You know, it doesn't, like... You know, shove in the message, besides having an ugly female character, but that ugly female character is, like, not that, like, again, you know, you don't see her that often, so, you know, it's tolerable, I guess.
Yeah, you know, you're right. We don't see her often, so it makes it a lot more tolerable.
But, you know, I generally find the flow of combat very fun. Exploring is pretty fun as well. There's a lot of different force abilities you can get that's also interesting. Why did you have to do that? Why did you have to do that? I fucking hate you. You didn't need to do that. Why is she in every fucking game, man?
I don't know.
Could I at least not like help with the face scans at least? God.
They're probably doing the actor even injustice, you know, at this point.
I assume so. Like, holy shit. But yeah, you know. Everything is just very Star Wars. I wouldn't call myself the biggest Star Wars fan. I mildly enjoy Star Wars. I love the Jedi and the lightsabers. You know, very simple stuff, isn't it? I'm a tourist, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think that this game really gives that feeling of being a Jedi. You know, like it isn't too easy. Like it's easier than most Souls-likes, even on the hardest difficulty. But it's still the kind of game where you have to pay attention or you get fucked. So I do enjoy that part of the game. To some extent, I would say they should have leaned even more into the Souls-like aspect of the game. Make it more challenging, more boss fights. The boss fights could have been better. I do like it when you get like the lightsaber duels and it kind of gets closer to Sekiro in terms of like parrying shit. That is fun, and you know, like having having some of the different abilities makes the game more fun to as well. That said, you know, it is a bit on the short side for Souls-like. You know, there's only 4 planets to, like, explore as well. There's technically a few others, but they don't really count that much, I don't think. And the story is fine, too. Although, yeah, like I said, they should have lead more into the Dark Souls-like, which, unfortunately, the next game seems to not do. So, I don't know. I'm not immediately interested in playing the next game. I might do it at some point, but right now, nah. But I enjoyed this game quite a bit. I'd say this probably is my favorite Star Wars game. Because it does feel like a good single-player adventure. You have seen me play the game.
Yeah.
So what did you think when I played the game?
Yeah, it had some fun things going on for it. A bit of the explorative, the nice platforming, even if that scares the living hell out of me. Or the bug lady is scaring the hell out of me. Only calling her bug because of those eyes, mind you. Right? It's like, holy shit, those eyes stick out.
They really do bug me. Why did you do this to me? You didn't need to do this to me, Addis. This was necessary.
I scarred Jesse for life.
No, the game did that already.
You're right.
Anyway, you're 54.
Here we go. I was having in mind Honkai Star Rail.
Ah, there it is. His addiction. His current addiction.
Can you take the one with the next one? Yeah, this one. Yeah, just take this one.
Okay.
Focus on the tits more.
Focus on the tits more.
No, I'm joking.
Typical.
But Honkai Star Rail just being another turn-based RPG. Yeah, phone game turn-based RPG. Though it does make the combat somewhat on the simplistic side. I enjoy the I do enjoy some amount of the difficulty the game can give you when you don't expect it. It has this really interesting and nice story. With mainly the beginning, getting my attention the most. Like I said, though simplistic it is, the combat is very solid. The characters are, the team composition matters, and it still adds some level of strategy and thinking to it that I like it a lot. It even has a lot of endgame content going on for it, as well as a roguelike mode.
Wow. That's my turn?
Yes. So you can now pull your Chichi. Oh wait, we already passed that song.
I'm not there yet. This one is probably on here because I haven't played any of the other games in the franchise, but I will probably... This might be a controversial for some even, I would say, but I actually want to say Tales of Arise, actually.
You monster.
I know!
I don't know, I don't even know.
I don't know either, to be honest. I don't actually know what people think of the game. I think so, it didn't really help that like one of the developers said like, oh yeah, no, we're taking inspiration from Stranger, like Life is Strange. I'm like, what the fuck are you fucking talking about, you insane buffoon?
Alright.
And honestly, like after playing it, no, it's nothing like fucking Life is Strange. I don't know why they said that. Why did they say that? But you know, like Tales of Arise starts with a I guess it does start with a lefty wet dream, right? Like you are a slave, and like the world is suppressed by the alien race that first people thought we came from the moon, but the moon was actually like a spaceship for them or some shit, and now they're taking over the fucking world and they're like making people suffer so that they can gather energy from them, so that one of the 5 lords can become a royal or something. I don't remember what it was, like a royal. Yeah, something like a king, basically. And you're someone who lost his memory because of the mask, and because of the mask, you can also not feel pain. And you're working with this woman who is part of the alien group, who is rebelling because she had a different lifestyle because of her curse. She's cursed with the thorns. That basically anyone who touches her gets hurt. So she has no social life, basically. And she wants to get rid of the curse. It's the whole reason of like, she's not one of the 5 lords, so she wants to like, basically steal all of these cores to get rid of this curse. And since this guy is someone that cannot like be hurt, doesn't feel pain, he can interact with her perfectly and work with her together. So they can actually work together to like eventually save this world. A bunch of other characters with different backstories do different things, and eventually kind of come to terms with. Maybe like previous like hate of other people or like their own backstories, and eventually come to save the world, but also like find a bunch of like plot twists out at the end as well, which is pretty fucking nuts too. But the game looks pretty nice, really nice as well. It's a really good, fun adventure. Let's just say it really is a nice adventure. The soundtrack is pretty good. I love the cinematics and the actual cutscenes in the game as well are also really nice. Of course you still have your skits. I do like most of the skits, but by the end of the game, like I have some criticisms. It's like by the end of the game, the skits kind of just become, yeah, we shouldn't We shouldn't do bad things. That thing was bad. Yeah, I agree. That thing you did a bad thing once. I did a bad thing once. Oh man, did I say something stupid again? No, that was fine. Okay, like, oh no. And it just kind of keeps doing that for the entire final part with all the sketches. Though the actual final part of the story is fine aside from that. The other issue really is with the gameplay is that, well, it's more fast-paced than the other Tales of games. It's 3D instead of 2D. Actually, it's kind of like Trials of Mana in a sense, but it's different that you can like perfect dodge and perfect block. The only problem I have is that the combat is a little bit too stiff to do perfect like block and perfect dodge, which compared to the Automata, which I think did that aspect better. But still, it has all of the nice Tales of things that you can do with like getting abilities to using abilities and all those other things you can do. It's a fishing mini game because, of course, it has a fishing. It's an RPG. It needs to have a fishing mini game. Like it's important. It's important.
You can never escape it.
You also become,
you love it.
You also become a farmer and you eat meat.
Really no.
Yeah. You can farm, kinda. Yeah. You basically befriend someone with a farm and you can use that farm to get meat.
Heck.
Yeah.
I can finally start my meat diet.
You can actually start your meat diet in the game. But yeah, I do think it's a fun RPG. It's a really fun JRPG with... It has a very overly naive ending. But I think I kind of liked it. And I think some people liked it because a lot of other Tales of games have bittersweet endings. But this game goes for the full sweet ending.
It's nice.
Yeah. The only... I guess that there goes with other criticism of mine though. Is that I kind of wish I could explore this new world that they have created at the end of the game. To really like emphasize how much you save the world basically. But it is a good game. I do recommend it. But unless you're number 55.
Can I do what you did and just take Mega Man X and X4 and put them in the same spot?
Of course you can.
Because I certainly do not remember... for some reason, I cannot remember Mega Man X4. But I can remember saying it was pretty fun. Just don't remember the exact details, which is weird.
I sometimes have that too. I have that with something like Mega Man X2 as well. And I think if I were to play the game again, I'm like, oh yeah, right.
I like those things.
Wow. That's what I find a bit difficult with Mega Man games, is that a lot of them are pretty similar. So while I enjoy, like, there's one game I enjoy the most, but the other games I probably kind of enjoy as well. But I find it difficult to say how much I really enjoyed, because I just think, yeah, I played Mega Man again. You know what I mean?
Yes. Overall, as I was introduced to Mega Man thanks to Johnny. Really enjoyed the music, the gameplay was nice and fast paced. For some reason, when it comes to the Mega Man X style platformers, which Mega Man Zero is also somewhat based off of, I'm a lot more comfortable with them. I guess just the dashing around makes it a lot more easy for me. I don't understand myself. As well as the whole combat system, the weakness managing, the energy stuff. Those are not that important, but finding those parts as well is a cool thing, like upgrading X or Zero's stuff. Overall, it was a very fun game to play. Although the story ends up being a lot more samey but that's Mega Man, I guess. Battle Network really is and Star Wars really is a more involved story,
yeah.
Isn't it?
Those are really those are RPGs, so they should be, you know.
Yeah. So I'll have to annoy you because my brothers need some help, so I'll be right back.
Alright. Well, I guess I can also just already say what my next game is, because it's also a Mega Man game. It's actually one of the only NES games I think on this list. I don't play a lot of. There's not a lot of NES games I really like or I find interesting, but I will say Mega Man 2 is just so good, isn't it? Like Mega Man, I want to get a better box. I don't want to get the American box card, which I think they made fun of at some point as well. But Mega Man 2, how should I say? It's just such a well-designed game. The NES was a console that, to me, is very experimental and. The games for the time were really good, but they have aged quite a bit, and I am unfortunately just a bit too young to fully enjoy them. But Mega Man 2, alongside with some Mario games, I guess, as well, right? And Castlevania, yeah, well, we'll get that one. But Mega Man 2, I think, is just a very solid game. No matter normal mode, hard mode, doesn't really matter. I think it's just a really good game. The level design is absolutely great. The boss designs are mostly fun. And fuck you, Quickman. Specifically the fucking stage. Fuck you, Quickman. But, man. Yeah, like, my only issue with Mega Man 2 would be if I were to play it on hardware and I'd have to, like, fucking redo the whole game if I lose all my lives. But it's a fucking good game with a great soundtrack. Out of all classic Mega Man games, this one really is my favorite one. I have not played 9 and 10 yet. So maybe 9, I've heard 9 is about as good, so who knows, maybe that will change my mind. But for now, Mega Man 2. I don't think there's another Mega Man game that really... classic Mega Man game that really comes as close for me in terms of what I enjoy. I'm probably gonna talk a bit more about it because I need to go to the toilet. So, you know, I think while we're gonna just do with this. Hello? Is Hennis back? Is he gone still? I can't believe Hennis is gone still. Do you believe this, man?
But why Mega Man 2?
Mega Man 2, as I've stated, it's just my favorite NES game, really. It's just a game that really stood the trial of times. It is so solid with its platforming and with the you know, with the weapons that you can get. Everything just is so close to perfection as possible for what it could do, and I think still today I can enjoy it. Albeit maybe with save stating in the beginning of each stage, so I don't have to play the entire game over again. But aside that, a fantastic game. It's just that I love the faster pacing of the Mega Man X games.
Yeah, same here. When it comes down to the faster pacing thing.
Yeah.
Alright, finally, gonna pull up Armored Core Nexus
It's another
and Last Raven. I just put Armored Core Nexus in there.
Ah.
So Armored Core Nexus is and Last Raven is also like a follow-up to Nexus. They happen after Armored Core Silent Line, and is how do you put it? It's like Nexus has this where what happened in Last Line, and some years later, going with all the ACs going while doing their stuff, and then in the end of when Nexus is over, Last Raven is like, all right, so all the ACs are just gonna have a straight up war for power. There's just no care in it. It's for the companies. Fuck the companies, which causes like quite a battlefield. In the end, the what I like about Nexus is that we finally moved over to using the analog stick as the camera, and I just like the whole feel of the game. Specifically Nexus over Last Raven, which is why I put Nexus there before it. I just like the whole feel of it, the whole informing of the story. It even redoes the old Armored Core game, so you can even play Armored Core 1 with the analog stick control. It doesn't do it redoes the whole story of Armored Core 1, 2, and Master of Arena, which is pretty cool. But it's just in terms of memories and feeling to it. I do still think that the Armored Core 3 and Last Silent Line were better in what they were trying to do.
So when did you put Armored Core 1 on the list?
Probably somewhere far lower, just purely on controls.
Okay, so my next game is actually in another game that is already on the list. It's Final Fantasy Origins, Strangers of Paradise. We've said this before, but it is a fantastic game. It's a bit like the post game, is a bit grindy. Like the DLC, like they've been a little bit too nuts with it, But I'm sitting here with a game with a bunch of different classes and playstyles, right? And that alone already was very interesting. Like the card mechanic, you can also there's so many different ways to play the game. And I think for most of the game, when you can play with your friends, it's a fantastic time. It just kind of sucks whenever they force you to play single player after you played with your friends so much, So like,
oh no, Jess now needs to play independently, not be carried by his overpowered friend.
The thing is, though, you weren't even carrying me when we were playing together, but when in some of the levels, right, especially with some boss fights, I was playing a mage at some point during most of the game, but it really feels like a lot of the fights are based off of close range fighters, and that's really what my issue is with the final super bosses of the DLC is that. Ennis tried using my build and he played worse than me. Maybe Parsec lag is there, that's fair, but it's...
And now, yeah.
Oh, hold on, do I have to keep doing it? No? Okay, Strangers of Paradise. Yeah. But, what I said before is also something I agree with, right? Like, the story does get... Even though it's not as involved as a normal Final Fantasy game, it does get interesting and, it makes you really think about the first game. Because this is technically a prequel to the first game, and it really gives you a different perspective on the villains of the first game. Of course, that was the intention back then, but that's besides the point. Generally, just for the different playstyles and just, revisiting, stages from different dimensions into, an action game. Felt really fun, and the game felt mechanically deep too. Deeper than 16. But who said that? Who said that? Anyway.
It's just funny enough, 14.
Oh, man. So, Ennis, what's your 57th pick?
Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Forces 3.
It's funny because I think I have a Tag Force game on the list as well. Tag Force 3.
Yeah, the game you introduced to me, basically. As somebody who never got somewhat into Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing, I always had something for Yu-Gi-Oh! But never really played it.
Yeah.
Just introduced me Tag Forces, and I think that's when I really started to get into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mindset. It's a good game to introduce. It's a lot slower than what new Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, and it has, funny enough, less text to worry about. It's insane, honestly. And it's a really good time to play. It isn't dating sim in the end, so just keep that in mind. It's like, oh my god, I get to play with my favorite like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! XD characters.
Really, the biggest criticism I have is that you can't fuck them.
Yeah, honestly, Konami, way to be just the pussies about it. Honestly,
I know. What do you mean this game is for children? Go fuck yourself.
but it's a really good a good way to begin with Yu-Gi-Oh! Just to get a feel for it.
I find these
and then be shocked when it speeds up in such a ridiculous way.
I think the Tag Force series is very underrated, specifically like 3 and 6, because they are also the games with like so many different like cutscenes, and it's like it gives you such a feel for like the duel in of itself. It's not just like a board game, you know. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the game as well. Now I would have liked it if every like monster card had a 3D hologram like they did with the DS games, but I guess there's just too many cards to like make models off of.
Thatch.
But man. For my 58th pick though. Yes, this one might also be a bit of a surprise for some people that don't know my tastes. And for Ennis, this might not be a surprise at all, actually. Atelier Ryza. Atelier Ryza. Now, I'm gonna link the 3 games together because I think all 3 of them are good. I think the second game does the gameplay a bit better, but I think the story is very rushed near the end. The first game I think is just that magical beginning where you like learn of the world and shit like that. It's not like the best graphics, but it looks pretty pleasing to the eye. Ryza is beautiful. What? Who said that? I said that.
Every female character is beautiful in that game. Let's be real with ourselves.
A lot of the characters are just like likable. The main characters for the first game have like interesting goals and stuff as well. The third game is a good finish to the game. The only problem I have with the third game is it's pretty fucking lengthy. Holy shit. There's a lot. Now, to be fair, I really took my time with that one as well. I don't think, you don't have to take as much time. But, the thing with Atelier Ryza games that makes them great is that the crafting system is just the best. There's no other game, I think, that has a crafting system as good as this one.
Until you find out that the other Atelier games have a better one.
Maybe. Actually, I'm very excited for the next game because it looks very interesting. You have a gun staff. It's both a staff and a gun.
Is that's a completely different Atelier game, right?
Yeah, it's the latest. Yeah, they're going with like because the Atelier series is basically a bunch of different. It's kind of like Final Fantasy, but they have like sequel games for some of those games. And I am interested in the next one because it seems a bit more serious, but also still rocking that same anime art style with beautiful female characters and a gun staff that you're hunting in that game. But also some more, it seems more like cutscenes as well. Atelier Ryza 3 tried to have some cutscenes with body mocap, but I kind of find it weird that they don't do that for most of the cutscenes. And that's a good. I guess that's a moral and a point of a story. There's more story aspects in 3 than in the other 2 games. I think the 3 really is like the good finishing point of the game series, and yeah, it was satisfying. It's a really good. These 3 games, all 3 of them are good. Atelier Ryza 3 is a very, very big game. The only problem I have with these 3 games is they're a bit easy. Though this also happens when you like throw bombs at people and you craft as much as I do. But that's why I recommend playing them on hard mode. Otherwise, you'll never do your ultimates. Anyway, your 58th pick.
I was funny enough thinking of putting Atelier Ryza as the next one.
You can do it. I'm not stopping you.
So yeah, just do it.
Copy and paste. Let's go.
Atelier, I only played the first one, and I did really enjoy the crafting system, the RPG elements. It was quite a fast-paced game as well, which was enjoyable in its own right. There was a lot of good things with it, as well as the characters and the story being really nice with the first game. And again, some mystery behind some of the plot points as well. And so, for me, it's more of an excitement. When do I, at some point I should start tackling for Atelier Ryza 2. But I also want to play one of the Trails of the... What's the fucking game again? Trail of the Skies?
Trails of Skies or Trails of Cold Steel?
Cold Steel something. I have probably the Trails of Cold Steel.
Sky is first. Like, that is chronologically speaking, Sky comes first. If you care about that.
Probably played something I bought first from the Trails games.
I really want to get
Might
into them
need-
too, but I need to download the translation altering mods like first because goddamn.
I could probably understand.
Fucking localized.
I'm gonna probably go in there raw and realize why you did that.
Should I remind you of the time where if you open a chest, instead of just saying the chest is empty, you get a whole fucking like meme reference instead.
The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky.
Yeah, that one, that's like the... It's funny, there's actually like a lot to this franchise, so it doesn't even start there, but that's where you can that's where most people recommend you to start, from what I understand.
Yeah, and you know what? You know, when you say that, I probably should start modding it as well. Fuck the localizers, man. They ruined games before I was even born.
The next one was pretty unsure on, because I like the game, but I also... it's kind of like how I don't really like dark toned stories, and this game is like the definition of a depressing story. At the same time, the ending is supposed to be more hopeful, and while I don't like dark stories when watching anime or movies, I can enjoy them as video games. And I do think at the end of the day, I should pick Nier Automata. Yeah, Nier Automata is a fantastic game. The control feels super fucking smooth. It's one of the smoothest controls in an action game. Basically also how you can just dodge instantly at all times. The battle flow is really good. I would say, like, you know, it's interesting how you can like equip 2 separate weapons and then you can do different combos based off of the 2 weapons you have equipped. You know, one taking your heavy slot, one taking your like light slot. And there's some interesting things you can do with that, especially also the chipsets, like being your basic like stat equipments and all your other stuff. The only problem I had with the game, like from a gameplay standpoint, is that when you like play as 9S, it honestly doesn't change enough for me to really find it interesting. I find the 9S part of the game not that interesting. I know why it's there, I know what the point was, but I don't even like playing as 9S as much, because the hacking part I can do, because I've played enough shooters, but I don't enjoy it as much as I just like playing as 2. I feel like I didn't need to be neutered. And I feel like, you know, I could have a bit more diversity in locations, especially when I also play again as like A2. And that ass part where like 2B is like fucking damage fucking blows. Because you can't do anything. It feels so unfair. Like, it feels kind of luck-based here and there just to get to the fucking other part, the next part of the game. But other than that, I think the game is fantastic. The side quests really play well into the main story. Like, it's the opposite of 14, where I actually think you should do all the side quests, because they are important to the game. They are actually interesting. And they're unlike Replicant, they're very well spread out. So they don't overburden you too much with side quests. Fucking goddamn it, Replicant, thank god. You know, the story is very interesting. You know, I don't like dark tones, but the story is still pretty interesting. It's all about, like, you know, what is the meaning of life, right? And I think it does a lot of that really well. You know, it shows a bunch of revelations near the end. 9S becomes insane. And, very
important part of the story, you know?
You won't fully predict the full story. And of course, you know, you can't talk about the Automata without talking about the amazing soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely perfect.
I was thinking we were going to talk about the ass, but I mean, that too.
Listen, if you see a pretty female character on the cover of a game, I'm looking at her ass too. I don't even have to mention it. You just should assume it. But yeah, the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. Melancholic, epic. It's just a fantastic soundtrack for a fantastic game. Even if I, you know, like lighter-hearted games or think stories more, I really cannot stress how much Nier Automata is just a great game. Like, honestly, it could be higher for it to like think objectively, but you know, that's besides the point. And it's all about favorites after all. So, Ennis, your pick.
Yes.
The Automata, can't believe it. Fuck.
There is something I could say for copying it, but no, not this time.
What is your 59th pick? I love Fontaine's soundtrack, by the way. Like, fucking... I think Fontaine might actually have my favorite soundtrack for Genshin Impact. When it comes to the overworld, anyway, it's fucking fantastic. Very melancholic as well. Because it's French. French people are sad for some reason. They have sad French music playing all the time in French.
Well, yeah, they keep cheating on their wives.
God, and
husbands.
and surrendering at war.
I know, right? I will say Dark Souls 2.
Okay, that's a very controversial opinion.
I probably should have put it a lot lower, but I honestly, I'm looking back at it. I had a lot of fun, and there is something in me saying that I want to do. I do want to come back to it. You know, maybe I should put it on the 69th spot just to be memery. You know what? Can we put it on the 69th spot?
Alright, you know, well, I guess we'll save that for later then. This is indeed the most unserious list ever made.
No, that one I'll skip it there. Honestly.
Well, I guess we'll keep that explanation for later.
Yeah.
So it is actually 59 then.
I will go with. Where is it? What is a good one? Doom.
Finally.
And I think I'll go with Eternal first, though.
You're not gonna link them?
I'm gonna link them.
All
I feel like they're both separate places in this case.
That's fair.
Where Doom, the reboot of Doom, is a really good start for when you want to come into it. I like Eternal for continue somewhat expanding the story and lore of the game of the first game. I like the edit; it's way more difficult and a lot more even more intense, which is funny because 1 was already intense. And yeah, I really did enjoy the whole thing about it.
You should still play
mainly
the DLC.
Just that story bit. Yeah, I still haven't played the DLC. And overall, it's a very good time. All right.
I guess it's my turn again. My next game is this one is also an interesting one, because you would probably expect some other game first, but I would actually say Sonic Adventure 1 and 2.
All right.
Now, I would pick Sonic Adventure over Sonic 1 because I think Sonic Adventure, like, well, Big Fishing sucks and Amy isn't that fun. I do enjoy most of the game, and it's still quite a lot more than I do enjoy Sonic Adventure 2 gameplay-wise. And obviously, some parts of the games have aged, like the cutscenes. And, some parts of the graphics. But, man, the soundtrack is fucking fantastic. You know, like all the different genres of music that is put into the game. And it's a true good adaptation to Sonic into 3D. And as much as I do think Sonic classic games do have overall more quality than main games, well, not Sonic 1 to be honest. But I generally enjoy modern Sonic more because that's what I grew up with more, and that's what I was able to play more often. Actually, I should put this end to as well, because while I do prefer Sonic Adventure gameplay-wise, at first I disliked Sonic Adventure 2 to an extent. But I get older. And there's something about Sonic Adventure 2 I learned to appreciate. There's a soul in Sonic Adventure 2 that just isn't in any other Sonic game. Like, you can tell the developers put some effort, like some level of heart into the story and shit. Even though it's all silly, even though it's all quite ridiculous, it's super happy-go-lucky and very shonen-esque. And that's exactly what Sonic is supposed to be. Sonic Adventure 2 to me feels like exactly what the developers wanted Sonic to be when they first conceived Sonic. You know, when you look at like all the art directions and shit, all the concept art of like even classic Sonic, you know, it was always meant to be like a shonen character rather than a Saturday morning cartoon character like some people made Sonic out to be. Like the Americans like thought of Sonic. Now, the fact that Super Sonic is a reference to Super Saiyan already says it all, right? And I really learned to appreciate Sonic Adventure 2, even though I hate the treasure hunting, even though the mechs don't control that well. There's just a part of me that like loves the experience of Sonic 2. You know, there's so many things Sonic 2 Adventure 2 has added to Sonic as a franchise, from characters to world building. Even though they completely got rid of the moon getting blown up in half, but don't talk about that. We don't mention it.
We forget that part, you know, sometimes.
I think Sonic
happens to all of us.
I think these two games just like they are a defining trait of 3D Sonic that I don't think you can miss. Yeah. Also, both of them have good soundtracks. Like, and Sonic Adventure 2 does. Even though it's sometimes a bit goofy with mocap, right, with body motion, I loved how the cutscenes like feel as well in terms of like movement. Even though the mocap is goofy, it just kind of works.
Mocap, I forgot about that part. And it's for, I guess, probably for the God of War lovers. It's probably is one of those.
Yeah, it's crazy. You didn't put a God of War game in it yet. Well, which one would be?
But did you ever play God of War, or are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about you, because I remember you being a big fan.
Yeah, I haven't played the Dad of War, so I only played like most of the original games, right?
I own Ascension. Does that count?
It's basically to an extent. Wasn't it the PSP collection or something?
No, it's
like
not.
Whatever.
Actually, maybe it was because it's on the PS3. Whatever. Which game?
But
or do you put adventures in it? I don't know.
I will put 3 in there first.
God.
For me, I don't. Some people. I don't know what exactly the entire consensus is of God of War story as a whole, right? But for me, the reasoning as to why I would go with 3 first, and maybe after that 2, is I feel that there was something about our man finally reaching the end and literally annihilating Zeus with everything inside. That felt like, there was something about it, though satisfying, also punishing to Kratos, right?
Yeah.
And this is how hard he went down into his path of vengeance, and look what it did. It's fucking empty and meaningless to a point.
But I also have to make some criticisms for the story. But I'm not gonna put it all here. But I did think that there were some parts of the story that didn't really add up to me. Like, first of all, the gods were evil, technically, so they had to be stopped as well at the same time, so you can't fully blame Kratos either.
Yeah.
And on the other hand,
the voice
that is talking to Kratos never gets explained, does it?
No, I don't remember it ever being explained.
And, I don't even know what their goal is, because, okay, so Kratos did as you asked and destroyed the world, what now?
Profit.
Alright, fair enough.
But for me, the other things that makes me enjoy it is that when I went from the PS2 games over to the PS3, I saw such a beautiful change in the graphics, where it was still you could tell it was still something God of War, but it looked clean,
It was
in that sense.
It was truly a fantastic looking game.
Yeah, and added to the fact that the gameplay still for me felt like a solid, maybe not. I don't remember. The problem is that I don't remember the exact details of the gameplay, which is always a sad and annoying bit. Right. But I do find that still the game is very solid in many ways.
I've only watched the Let's Play of the God of War games, so I don't have much of an opinion on them. But I thought God of War 3 did look amazing and looked very fun to play as well.
Yeah.
Also, there's a Dutch dub.
Right.
It's terrible.
What do you expect?
Nothing. Okay, my next game. This one I purely put out of spite to an extent. So, one of the reasons I wanted to make a top 100 list is because, you have game journalists making their top 100 lists, right? And they're fucking shit. But one thing I found interesting is, something I did find, I couldn't help to disagree with, is that some people said Mario Kart 8 doesn't deserve to be on any top 100 list.
Why?
And I find it odd, because, well, what's wrong with it? Because, okay, it's not gonna change your mind. It's not gonna rock your world. It's not gonna be a great single-player experience. But it doesn't need to, because what Mario Kart 8 sets out to be is just a fun racing game that you can do with your family. And that's exactly what it is. And with the Deluxe Edition and all the DLC, there's so much content into it. Now, the quality of that extra content is, debatable. But I think overall, Mario Kart 8 is a game that looks great, sounds great, and is generally fun to control and fun to play. This game, it's definitely a normie game, right? But I think that, if I have to put in at least one normie game, at the very least, right? If if I'm bored and I'm with someone that's not really a gamer and they're also bored, we can play Mario Kart 8. Because even that normie that doesn't play video games might still play Mario Kart 8. My mom plays this game. I play this game with my mom. And on my own, I can play the game and still have fun with it. Because it's generally a fun racing game. It's not a very serious racing game with all the items going around, but it's fun. The good, chaotic, fun experience. Well, still having tight controls for fun racing as well. Yeah. And of course, I put it on the top of the Mario Kart games as well. You know, it just looks the best. The control is good. There's many stages on it now. There's many different characters on it now. You know, how can I say no to that? It's a great game. It's a good racing game. I don't play a lot of racing games, to be fair, but you know, that's how it is.
But when I do, I play this one.
Yeah, exactly. I also play also Horizon 5, to be fair. But this one is fun with friends and family, and that's kind of what is important with something like racing games to me, I think. Well,
so for my pick, the Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And then you mean like
2 games.
The PlayStation
2. I mean both.
Oh, both games. Okay.
Both the DS and the PS2 GameCube version. Doesn't matter which one you pick. In the don't. I think you're picking more the TV. Put game in there.
I'm just gonna just game in. I'm just gonna. No, not this.
No, not that one.
Is that one bad? I don't know. Is this one even bad?
I don't know. I don't even have it touched it with it. I don't touch any new stuff. So just so you know, just PS2. There you go.
For the record, this is the one I played, showing to Ennis. This one has multiplayer. We're gonna play that game together at some point.
Burning Earth, I played as well. I'm not a fan of it, mainly because I played this one. Whereas this one is both the PS2 and the DS versions are like just your action role playing game.
Yeah.
And it's really solid, really fun. It is its own story. They're both the same story, the 2 versions, but they are their own story and do not follow the TV show at all. But it's just the gameplay is good. You have different characters to play with. You have all the skill tree stuff. The DS version even makes you draw on scrolls to learn this new techniques. Well, Sokka just buys stuffs, you know.
He just buys these things from the thrift store.
Yeah, he just goes to Amazon.
He goes to Amazon. It's actually the Amazons, you know.
Yes.
Alright, I guess it's my turn. My next pick. God, there's so many games I've put on this list, but I don't think they're all gonna be on the top one when I think about it. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, you were just fishing for what games you had played more than anything.
I guess the next one would be Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to Pokemon Heart Gold is also an important game to me because it's the Pokemon game where I started learning English, right? Like around this time I knew English a bit more. But on top of that, right, because this game I had so much bad luck. I think the first time I played this game was maybe on our forklift with the Japanese version, but that was gone. I somehow lost. I lost the Pokemon Heart Gold once. Pokemon Soul Silver, I think I lost at some point as well. So 2 times, I couldn't finish the game. Finally, after I got Heart Gold, I said fuck. You know, in the past I always would like do what I normally do, where I just catch random Pokemon and then I usually level up my starter the most. This game, because I was so tired of constantly fucking getting new games. Like, I constantly having to buy the new game because it's fucking... I keep losing save data or I keep losing the game itself. I said, fuck it. I'm just gonna stick with a party of 6. And then I learned, that's what you're supposed to do.
No way!
Yeah, it was crazy. But what can I say about this game? It's a remake of Gen 2, which is already a fantastic generation of Pokemon. But, you know, that's all the good parts of, like, Gen 4. And, you know, it's very fun to... It's a region that's just very fun to travel through. It looks very nice. The soundtrack is really good. And, you know, there's just a lot of content in it as well. Similar to Black and White 2. Black and White 2 has more content, but this one also had a lot of content. Really, the only issue I would have with the game is more so that it's a bit slow because of Gen 4. But it's still a fantastic game. With, you know, plenty of secrets to it as well. A lot of optional Pokemon you can catch. A lot of optional fights you can have. And, you know, again, 2 sets of gym leaders. Unlike, you know, original Gen 2, the remake, like, makes sure that the second, like, region is actually more, you know, it doesn't feel like they just added in last second, you know? It's really, it's generally a great game. A great Pokemon game. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Then I'll add no bundling here. It's Sly Cooper 2 specifically,
From what I understand, the second game was the best one.
and that's exactly the reason why. Though I did get introduced to the Sly Cooper series with 2, and afterwards at least got to play 1, but didn't get in touch 3. Well, I do have it.
Yeah, we need a friend. We need a friend who plays Jack and Dexter. Then we have like the complete trilogy, like the complete 3.
But for me, ultimately, when it comes down to Sly Cooper 2, I felt that it had really solid like stealth gameplay. The other 2 characters had really good portions of their own going for it as well. And I find as an introduction to the story, it did a real quick, nice job of like telling you the basic gist of it before entering some really cool levels.
Yeah.
And doing in a way, it could be seen as a puzzle, but it was a really damn good time playing the game. As somebody who doesn't know shit about the series when it started.
To be fair, the first game was also very rough. Like, it wasn't bad.
Yes.
It's not a bad game, it's just they clearly didn't know exactly what they wanted to do. It was closer to just a normal platformer.
Yeah, it is a fun platformer in any case though.
Yeah.
But like I said, I rather play the what do you call it?
Second 2.
The second one.
Alright, yeah, I was crazy thinking about this one, but I thought my next game would be another DS game. It's Sonic Rush. I said I love the boost mechanic in the 3D games. Of course, I liked it with it too. Now, I would probably link this game as well with Colors, the DS version of Colors, because the DS version of Colors is just Sonic Rush 3. It really is. And it's also a fantastic version of the game. Sonic Rush and like the Sonic Colors DS, like it's of course boost to win, but I still think there's plenty of fun to be had with it as well. Like there's the story is kind of there, but Blaze is a fun character to play with as well. The soundtrack is pretty nice in both games. And what can I say? It's just fun. It's just a fun game. The 2 games are fun. Solid quality.
Yes. I completely forgot I played those games.
Hey,
Specifically, Sonic Rush 1 and at the very least, what was it called?
Adventure. La la
la
la.
No, not Adventure. What was the fucking name? And Sonic Colors DS.
Yeah.
And with that, I also completely forgot I played Sonic Colors on the Wii and Sonic and the Secret Rigs. Now, let's see.
The battle between Sonic and like Blaze also just find it entertaining, especially with the soundtrack. Have a nice fall, you stupid bitch! I'll never forget.
I played this game recently, but I will put Lunar Lux.
What was? Oh,
Lux. Lux. It's together. Yeah. Oh, it's fucking. It takes League of Legends, of course. There we go.
League of Legends. That's the death penalty.
Yeah, that's fine.
Interesting.
So I sent some pictures to Jesse when I was playing this game. It has a lot of Mega Man references going on, specifically Battle Network, and has some similar things going on with it.
Was this the card game?
This is not the card game.
Oh no, it's a different one then.
It is turn based. It has the what do you call it again? The Mario and Luigi's reaction stuff going on, but it isn't as it's more like Undertale in how it reacts. But it has a lot of Mega Man references going on. It has a lot of imagery and visuals of Mega Man Battle Network going on. So it has those things. Ultimately, it's a very fun game. It's still new, I believe. I don't know how old it is at this point, but it's a very solid game. A nice story going with it as well. And I would recommend it for anybody who does want to play something that at least remembers Mega Man Battle Network.
Yes. Right, good.
Capcom did, but only to make more money off of it.
We're going to
Some
make
minute.
one media of the Legacy of Collection, and I'm pretty sure something somewhere is censored. I don't know what, but I'm just gonna assume so.
I'm gonna assume that they automatically found
Then again,
somewhere.
they didn't censor Wolfspansu in the fucking fighting game re-releases.
Yeah, that's also weird. You know, you would expect.
From all the things, Anyway, my next game is a fighting game. It's Soul Calibur 6. Now, Soul Calibur 6 is interesting because I've played only 2. I've only played 2 and 3. I've played mostly 2 and a bit of 3, and then I played 6 at some point because I finished with 6. I beat the whole game. I did everything in the single player campaign, and 6 really is just, in a sense, a remake of 2 actually. And you know, it's fun to kind of see the stories of all these characters. They have the chronicle, so basically there's a whole plot line, a whole timeline, and then each character has their own story within that timeline. Some are more interesting stories than others, though. I especially like this fucking demon who became a demon because his clan got fucking murdered, and he eventually became a demon to take revenge. But he actually ended up being quite a nice person, and then he starts saving people left and right. Starts thinking, wait a minute, I'm actually quite a nice person. Fuck, I'm gonna stop doing this now. I love. Also, fucking Geralt is in there, so 10 out of 10 game.
So yeah, just actually play the Witcher game. I'm impressed.
Yeah, exactly. Now, actually, there 2B is in the game as well. It has character creation and character creation.
Of course, where isn't 2B at this point?
In a bad game.
Right.
It's 14 a bad game. Hold on. I'm joking.
No. We're gonna be honest here.
Yeah,
14 still has good things going on.
But
even if you don't like some things.
I just love the arena fighting style of this game, where you also can kind of fall off the pit if you're not careful. But it's just kind of like the perfect 2.5D game. And it's fun to just play with all these different characters from different regions with their different weapons and shit. It's
they also speak different languages.
No, you can choose between English dub or Japanese dub, but whatever dub you choose, the narrator will always be English, and I appreciate that because the narrator's voice is just fucking amazing. It's like trying to change the Smash narrator voice. You can't. It's perfect. It fits perfectly with the game. It is a very entertaining game that I think has enough single-player content to be fun. And of course, when you want to actually fight against your friends, it is very entertaining with plenty of deep mechanics, like counter and parry mechanics, and different ways to dodge certain things. The only problem I have with the fighting game aspect of it is that the explanation for what combos you can do is so bad. I don't know what the fuck they're fucking talking about. It's because instead of just telling me what buttons do what, they use P, K, shit like that, the punch kick, and it's you don't even punch and kick in the fucking game, it's fucking sword fighting, you fucking idiot. What do I do? Explain.
No, simple, Jess. You punch with the sword and kick with the hilt.
What the fuck? But it is a very solid game. It is very fun, and even if you don't really know what you're doing, you'll eventually kind of learn. It's not too difficult. There's a good learning curve to the game. So yeah, if 2 isn't on the list, it's only because 6 is on the list. Because 6 is basically a remake of 2. And the breasts jiggle and the female characters are hot. So, I recommend. Anyway, your pick for 64. Mario 64.
No, that is you, but
No, I don't play Mario. I've not played Mario 64. You'd be surprised. These are like platformers. I like how Dark Souls 2 is just sitting there menacingly.
Way to good start because it got punished.
It's a looming aura around it. It's just.
All right. I am going with God of War 2.
Ah.
God of War 2 is on its own has a very solid gameplay going on. The story is again it is going to somewhere which at some point I forgot where I'm going with this point. More importantly, the gameplay is just very good. It's very satisfying. It even it gives you the counter mechanic added in there for if you can time that stuff well, giving you some reward to it as well.
God of War 2 is
overall just a very solid game.
God of War 2 is interesting to me because when I watched a Let's Play of it, I didn't really think too much of it. But everyone talks about a lot of people's favorite God of War games that isn't the modern ones. Usually they say God of War 2, and I'm very interested now. I feel like it's a game that you actually really have to play to really understand how good it is.
Yeah, it's mainly the playing part
Yeah.
that makes it good.
Did we get the whole? Did we do the whole soundtrack? Is it? Oh no, there's more. Okay, I guess my pick is next, and my pick will be, and it will be oh, this one is something you don't know. You don't know this game. It's Crysis. Now, actually, you do know this game.
I do know this game
for all the wrong reasons. And I want to link the 3 games together because I can't really pick a favorite. I feel like I need to play the 3 games more often to really discern which one I like more. And a lot of people some people say oh, the first game is the only good one, and 2 and 3 went off the rails. Some people say the 2 was the favorite ones, and some people say 3, EA was EA just trying to be greedy and not really knowing what they were doing. But I enjoyed all 3 games. I had some criticisms here and there, but I think they're really fun and unique first-person shooters. They give you the ability between stealth and armor. Basically you have this suit on, and the first game especially has separated these abilities, whereas the second and third game kind of mixed some abilities together with with your basic movement, because it just makes more sense. But in the first game you can choose to go to speed mode to run really fucking fast, or you can do jump mode where you can fucking jump really fucking high, or you can go with power mode to do punch people really hard. I don't think that one was very useful. You can do armor mode where you can take a bunch of fucking hits without losing your HP, so you can deal the damage. Or you can go with stealth mode where if you stand still, you'll be able to be unseen by any enemy. Though if you start moving, you reduce a lot of energy meter, because all of this costs an energy meter, and that's why micromanaging the energy meter is gonna be the key to playing this game properly. Because I went with a stealth one with all 3 games, but I only noticed that that's the one for people that don't know how to play these games well, which is me. I'm sorry, I suck at these games. Because I see a lot of other people playing the game as if it was fucking Doom instead. I'm how the fuck do you do that? If I do that, I fucking die within 5 seconds, and I'm playing on normal. How do you do this? But I think the game has some good combination with being tactical with the stealth mechanics and picking your weapons and customizing your weapons on the go. The first game, the original version of the first game, I should say, because I think the remaster changed this. But the original is also a bit annoying with weapon pickups, because to pick up ammo, you have to physically pick up each ammo. Each fucking individual ammo you have to just pick up with your hands. It's very different than you just walk over it and you get ammo. You know? But the story can be pretty interesting at times. It's just, at first it starts just with the war against Koreans. And then, then it turns out that about aliens. The second game I like because of the setting where basically a big virus is spreading. And a bunch of a governmental agency is suppressing people, even suppressing their freedom of speech and locking people down in a quarantine and shit. And you're there to kind of stop them and also eventually stop the alien invasion. Anyway, enough about real life. So, Crysis 2. Now, Crysis 2 is also just a very fun game, because it's still pretty focused on what Crysis 1 did, but kind of improved some of the gameplay aspects to it. Crysis 3 adds some new things here and there. That's also fun. I think all 3 games are entertaining. Crysis 3 basically does a lot what Crysis 2 has done, and yeah. It's a bit difficult to really say, but I think all 3 of them are fun. The final boss of Crysis 3 is a bit odd, but okay. The solution is just odd. It's oh yeah, no, this is the alpha queen or something. It's yeah, but we already killed an alpha multiple times. Why does the queen just come over here? Doesn't make any sense. But it's fine. It doesn't matter. All 3 games are fun, and that's the important bit. So, your turn. Also, my PC is burning while the games look great. Even when they're old.
So no, even Jess's PC can run Crysis.
No, my PC can run Crysis 1 and 2. Crysis 3, I'll get back to you on that. It can run, it's just not on 4K. Or at least it wasn't very smooth on 4K. I think I did something wrong, but I don't know what.
All right. For me, it then is a Doom reboot.
I already have the reboot picture here. So.
It's a very solid introduction, and honestly, my favorite way of introducing Doom, with him just going around finding screens and just smashing them because it's just too long, didn't read. As well as the great music that plays around the fast-paced combat. With this game, just introducing that stuff, right? I'm not even talking about Eternal, which ramps it up to the umpteenth, right? Still kicking your ass, having and just going between Mars and what do you call it? Or Hell looks amazing, as well as adding into the idea that not only are are Mars creatures insane or terrible, but no, the energy is not worth it. And the funniest bit of them all is how the Doctor was like a complete crazy person too, cultist.
That's funny. That's actually
was like
there's a crazy cultist scientist in the Crisis 2 as well, kinda. Man, he's fucking annoying when he's about to die and he realizes his plans are failing. It's like, man, shut the fuck up.
Die already.
He's such a doomer. That's coming
from me. Right?
Did you have anything more to say, or?
No, that's about it. Nothing much.
I will say that Doom Eternal is also a great benchmarker. I mean, it's true. They use it for benchmarking. It's also a very well optimized game.
Does it compete though with the Monk Aura?
Well, no, because it's a well optimized game. It runs on the Switch.
You're right.
Hold on, my next game would be.
What are you on about? It plays on the PS3 though. Final Fantasy 14.
But does the Monk Hour play on the PlayStation 2?
I'll get back on you that one.
The next one is Final Fantasy V. I already have the game in, I can just put it in. Yeah, it's pretty funny, right? It's pretty high up in the Genesis list, I remember. Hold on, where is it? It's pretty high up on Genesis list. For me, yeah, I love it too, right? But I've played a lot of other games, there's just other things that kind of like impressed me more, I guess. But I loved 5's class system so much. And other games try to kind of do the same thing, but I feel like they just missed something, you know? Final Fantasy V is an amazing time, you know? Great, funny adventure, pretty fucking goofy. But the gameplay is just really solid. It's just a fun thing to grind as well. There's plenty of optional things to do here and there as well. It's just a good time. Yeah, that's it. You know what? Your 66th one, I've said enough. Oh my god, it's gonna be Nier Automata. Oh my god, I can't believe it. Guys, he's doing it. I know what happened.
I'll entertain you. Do it.
The very hard mode. The very hard mode scarred Ennis for life.
Yes, it did.
Oh man.
It was a fun challenge until I had to like escort 2B from a hellscape. And she died.
That section was awful.
So it also, it made me realize, holy shit, they had this insanely stupid mode in there, and
they did not playtest.
Made sure they did not playtest it to put more checkpoints in logical places. You know how great it was. What did I do again? Dude, I killed myself at the credit scene, and we had to do the boss fight again against Eve.
God, I remember that fucking boss fight. Like, you struggled so hard with that one. Especially
just for me to suicide.
The 9S one was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it was quite a pain. But I still find, for me, the worst one is really just the escorting 2B. Like, why?
You won't find Replicant on the list, by the way, for me, because holy shit, that game burnt me out. That fucking game.
All because you just had to plant some seeds.
That was the fucking boiling point. Like, there are so many side quests on the same place. It is the opposite of Nier Automata. Actually, it's like Final Fantasy 14. No, I don't find it as uninteresting as 14's side quests, but Man, there were too many. They were not spread out well enough. Because I looked at it, right? Like, I am practically halfway done with the game. 99% of the side quests done. Jesus Christ, you could have spread them out more. But yeah. Anyway, my turn, I guess. My next game is gonna be Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I've not played Symphony of the Night yet, right? So, I don't know exactly what it did better, what not, but I had a good time with this one. It's a very solid Metroidvania. There's a lot of abilities you can get, and it's also just has very solid RPG mechanics. I like the overall designs of a lot of things. There's a lot of like little details here and there as well. It's a game that's generally just fun to play. Like, you feel good playing it. The soundtrack is also fantastic, for the record. I still think my favorite team might be the ship team, to be honest. Like, the 8-bit edition of that team is fucking great too. Overall, it's just a very solid game. Some enemies can be fucking annoying though. Some of them can be. There's also some optional bosses here and there too. You know what? Like, Anders hasn't played all the updates either, but like they have added a lot of different modes to the game as well. That's very interesting. They even have a randomizer mode. Like, you can just play randomized without modding. It's fucking fantastic.
Amazing.
You can play as one of the bosses too now as well. It's like the Blood Lady, the Umbrella Lady.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah. So what is your 67th pick?
And just in mind, what was it? Bloodborne.
It's crazy because you only played. I don't think you finished it, did you?
No, I haven't finished it. That's probably the biggest reason for it as of this moment.
I really wish this had a PC release. It has with an emulator.
The fun with Bloodborne, it has, it's a weird one for me where it does have some build variety going on, but it's not as deep as I guess Dark Souls is, though it still has the stats going on and everything. The weight system isn't there, so the game is a lot more in the doesn't require you to be like, it's always on the same pace, better put, right? Mm-hmm. With only the weapons attacking speed deciding some things. It has the cool mechanic of like, you remember how you could get kills, right? In Dark Souls 1.
Yes.
Well, this game you can break body parts of your enemies, and it can cripple them not permanently cripple them in a fight, but it can stun lock them if you know how to do it well.
So how high ranked is Bloodborne karting though?
Bloodborne karting is sadly enough not in this list because it's just it's not worthy. The list is not worthy of its presence.
I was about to say, like, that game is clearly more worthy than this list.
But it is absolutely it's a fun game. It had and because like every Souls game, it's more about knowing the game than it is about being good at games, right?
Yes.
And so I had a moment of complete rage before I had the post-rage clarity, and the rest, man, this game is great. It's just I haven't beaten it. I didn't get too much into the mood, and it might just be me not playing enough on the PS4 anymore as I used to.
Yeah. It's really because we're just PC players nowadays as well.
Yes.
My next game is Mafia 2. The biggest reason why I put Mafia 1 over Mafia 2 is mainly because I think Mafia 2, while still, keeping the same feelings, right? Like, it's an old time, though this time it's more, it's set in like the 40s to 60s. Which is also an interesting part of the game, because that means also you get to see more, like, it gets more modern as time goes on. It really has this, like, there's 4 more years that go by in this game than in Mafia 1, and it's kind of interesting to see all of those different years as well. You start actually with, like, World War 1, I believe, yeah. I think. Oh, no, maybe it was World War 2. Yeah, it was World War 2, maybe. I'm not too sure. But then you go back home, and then, you eventually just join the Mafia. But, the story...
As you do.
As you do. But, the gameplay is still as fun as the other games, and, there's more open world aspects to it than the first game. Like, there's more, there's more shops to go to, there's more stores you can go to, and that's some mechanics based off of, like, suspicion, where if you, like, commit a crime in a car, then your car is registered. When the police find your car, they'll try to go after you. You have to, like, if you want to get rid of that of your car, you have to do something about it. Or you can just leave the car and go get another car. Or, you know, the clothing you wear as well. They'll try to get your identity. It's, you know, there's more to this game. But the biggest reason why I put it below 1 is because I think the story near the end point, the characters become so overly retarded that it's kind of painful to watch. Like, the whole point is that, like, they think they have, like, a money-making scheme, but the way they do it is so incredibly stupid. Like, they go, like, seriously, we'll find out that we just use these drugs to sell a lot of money. Trust me, bro. And they go out on the fucking street in broad daylight, dancing around with those drugs while selling them, like fucking idiots. I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? I also just love how every character just found out every single thing we did, despite having no way to find that information. Though, on the other hand, we're so fucking dumb that we just do things in the open. Like, no shit, what were you thinking? But other than that, it's a fantastic game still. Play the original version, not the remake, I guess. I don't know. The remaster. You can play both, it's fine, but the remaster has some graphical glitches here and there, which is funny. Because you're playing it for the graphics. What was funny about the remaster? They only updated some of the character models. So some character models are 4K and the others are, like, you know, slightly upscaled. Really funny. I'd still recommend it, though. What's your 68 pick? What's the only game better? What's the only game better than Dark Souls 2, according to it?
See, 69 is a fun spot more than anything else, just to put them in the memes. A Night of Azure.
Ah, interesting. The lesbian game.
Yes.
At some point, that's the only thing I know about this game because that's the only thing people talk about. This might be because they're annoying.
Yeah, it is kind of sad on that end because the game is a very. Some might say it's a basic one, but it's a fun action RPG, going through the stages, fighting, getting some different weapons. Actually, without being airborne, you can look at it almost like what was the game called again? Devil May Cry, almost. Where you get all of these different weapons to combo off with. You get some minions even that Devil May Cry doesn't get, which allows them to upgrade your stats, help you in battles and all that kind of stuff. It's a fun game, and the story is also nice with the MC trying to save the world, maybe sacrifice herself for her girlfriend's sake. The biggest reason why I ended up finding this game is because of some great artwork of 2 characters.
Mm-hmm.
Not even doing the deeds.
So I had this game a lot lower, but 69 is a way more fitting number for it. Senran Kagura Burst Renewal.
Why is it specifically Burst Renewal, or are you going to put other Senran Kagura games on here as well?
I'm kind of going to link it, but I would say Burst Renewal is just the best way to start the game because it's where the story starts and it's a remake of the first game. And it has the gameplay of the latest game that came before it, before it was killed off. I mean, it ended with a spin-off, but that's besides the point. Burst Renewal.
Rest in peace, Senran Kagura.
Yeah. The only reason why I would put it lower is that Senran Kagura, the gameplay is still it's entertaining for a bit, but it's more repetitive than like a fucking Warriors game. even though the final boss is more interesting than most, the final boss has interesting mechanics. But what I liked about the game is that unironically I played the game for the plot. Don't just be the test. Like, no, genuinely I find the story is compelling enough. Like, at first it starts. Like, first you might cringe with how basic it sounds. Like, oh, it's about good. There's ninjas that are good and they work for the government. There's ninjas that are evil and they work for the companies. But the more you learn about the game, the more you know that the game is about Taoism, I think. Or like a Chinese philosophy of good and evil. That sometimes, good can do evil and evil can do good. And they both are necessary in order to get a proper balance. And at first, you probably play the first campaign. There's 2 campaigns. And both of them technically are their own continuity, but they both have like backstories for different characters, and they're important to play. And the point of the first game is that the first year, as the main characters, you're like, you have propaganda that basically tells you, yeah, these are the evil shinobi, they're evil, don't fuck with them, you must hate them, fight them, kill them. But then you later learn that, well, yeah, they're kind of crazy, they care just as much about their friends as you do. And eventually, you know, we start seeing more about of their side of the story as well. And then later, you know, it gets interesting when, you know, all of this about summoning this monster called Orochi, and that's when we get through, like, the big lore of the franchise, where once you graduate as a ninja, you get to learn that the real mission of the ninja is to defeat these monsters called Yoma, who appear when a bunch of, like, death and suffering happens. The point of the game is to become a Kagura so you can fight these Yoma and eventually kill the Uber Yoma, the Yoma that's in the core of the world, like just sitting in the core of the planet. But unfortunately, we'll never get that story because it's fucking cancelled. Fuck you, Sony. And,
yeah,
you know,
they really Sony did kill off Tengen Kagura.
But it's also just a perfect waifu game, you know. The fan service is perfect. You have a waifu for every kind of taste. The characters are not. Some characters are a little bit one note, but most characters are actually very, you know, they don't. There's more to them than just their looks, you know. And the final like, I just love the waifu relationship between Homura and fuck, what is the main character's name again? What the fuck?
You certainly are loving this game, you know.
No, I love the, like, no, I'm just bad with names. That's the thing. How can I forget her name? Asuka. There you go, Asuka. Asuka and Homura.
Oh, her name isn't Tengen Kagura?
It's funny you say that. We do have a character like that. That's a big lore dump, though. I'm not gonna talk about it now. There's basically I love the rival relationship because even with the next game where they focus on, like, new schools, it still ends with the final boss being either one of these two you can pick, and the opening theme of, like, the last game played, and it was fucking peak. It was just good. Tengen Kagura is, like, something where it can be a bit tiring because it's repetitive, but the stories are pretty good. And I generally just, I don't know, I just love the franchise. I had it lower mainly because the gameplay was a bit repetitive, but, you know, like 69, you know, it's loot. It's a perfect fit. And it's your funny number. Dark Souls 2.
So I put it there mainly for the fun of, for the meme of it. Dark Souls 2 is a fun game to some extent, though it has its design flaws here and there. You know, the maps being kind of on the weaker side of things, sometimes even not making any logical sense with the lava stage being high up in the sky. Where's the lava going to?
What the fuck?
Or that most of the bosses are even worse than often you can say in Dark Souls 1 that you just have to strafe around the boss and you'll be fine, right? But that happens in Dark Souls 2, where you can really easily do that with some bosses. Or that the other beautiful thing about Dark Souls 2 is that it has some really good design aspects in there. What was it called? Two of my favorite things being the power stancing idea, where you can actually dual wield weapons and use them both at once, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which Dark Souls 3 brings back half-ass with, like, the two weapons in one, and you then also get, like, the infusion stuff, where now you don't have to, like, have a separate upgrade material just to make the weapon a different element or different scaling. You know, you just put a gem in there and done. And to an extent, I do like that enemies despawn if you kill them enough times. Maybe you die a lot against the boss, and the walk back would be fine. But then again, Dark Souls 2's biggest problem is that it has terrible walks back. So it is, like, on a weird scale of I do enjoy the game, right?
Yes.
But it's just, it has some flaws that you cannot simply say no, it's bad, it's good, or it's a good game but not a good Dark Souls game. None of the nonsense. It has flaws that just don't make it amazing in most people's eyes, and it's even terrible in some. And if you want to have a better time, apparently don't play the Scholar of the First Sin edition.
Alright then. Ah, man. The picks are difficult, because now I kind of just counted to my list. We have 30, like, games left, but I have, like, 33 games listed here. And I'll done a minute. But I think my next pick would probably be... oh, yeah. I might just go for... Actually, I think I'm gonna go with... Oh, yes. Yeah, So, I'm gonna pick Star Wars Battlefront 2, actually. The original version. The classic one. Star Wars Battlefront is just really... It's just kind of fun, because, you know... Of course, if you're a Star Wars fan, you already like it because over like some other like shooters. This is also can be a third-person shooter, but I think it also has first-person mode in like PC versions of the game. The only problem with the game is that even the PC version, the servers are pretty difficult to work around. And like the Wii release was awful. The Wii release, I don't understand how they fucked it up so bad, man. But it has so much content. All the hero characters are fun to play with as well. Although they are hilariously broken, but that's also kind of the point. And, you know, there's the space battles on top of that. It's just very entertaining. With plenty of content to it as well. And of course, the soundtrack is gonna be, you know, Star Wars. So if you like the Star Wars soundtrack, you probably like part of this game as well, because it does have that soundtrack of the movies as well, but like re-synthesized, I guess, is the best way to put it. Battlefriend 2, yes. Battlefriend 2.
Battle with friends, yes.
Yeah, do you respect the 1v1? Alright. Your pick. Definitely.
Tales of Brass.
Tales of Breasts?
I'm sorry. Tales of Berseria.
What?
Tales of Berseria I got mainly because of probably the main character, right? But it, as a Tales game, it has very solid story going on. It has its anime aspects going in there. It is, you know, you do get attached to them and the worlds around it. I don't want to say too much about it. I think the only problem I have is the combat is, oh lord, I played Tales of the first Tales of game on the PS1. Fuck that game. And I played Tales of Symphonia for a bit, and that's such a better time to play. This one goes into the action RPG aspect, right? Mm-hmm. But it's just, they have this dodge. They have perfect dodging. I think they have good blocking as well going on in it. But it's just the game is a bit too fast paced, and the enemies don't really give you much of a tell when they do an attack. It falls a bit flat, and then stop being like the main character being literally like the best character in that game. So that's the weakness of it all. It does try to make every character play differently to keep it interesting somehow. It's just they're not that good in a way. Otherwise, like other Tales, like with the other Tales of game, you can play with your friend, which makes it more fun. It makes it still fun, to an extent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
My next game is going to be actually I'm gonna switch these two around that I've listed. So I'm gonna say Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku 2, which I link with Bruce Fury. What can I say about Legacy of Goku 2 and Bruce Fury? Legacy of Goku 1 is bad. Legacy of Goku 2, I think is the better one, mainly because with Bruce Fury, the problem I have with that game is more so that you can easily like knock the boss into a wall and they'll never recover. Like the wall is their weak point. They'll never recover from that one. But it's these are just very fun action RPGs. From the top-down perspective, with a bunch of extra like content to it, that are like it's basically filler, so it's very anime accurate. But they're just very fun, and as a Dragon Ball Z fan, and as a fan of like action RPGs, it's just a good time. I think that they have a right selection of characters. They tell the story well enough. Although a bit differently in there. The soundtrack is pretty good too. I don't like the Bruce Faulconer soundtrack much at all. When it comes to the anime, but I think it works perfectly fine in this game and Bruce Fury. I generally think they're solid ways to experience the Dragon Ball Z story, and I do kind of like the sprite work, even if it's pretty simple sprite work. I kind of I'm nostalgic for it. And I think the actual like in fucking Legacy of Goku 2, compared to first game, the environment feels a lot more in depth. Like, it doesn't feel flat, which makes it very good. With a bunch of there's also a bunch of side content you can do in the games as well, which it's not super long, but that also is a good part of both of these games. They're not overbearingly long either. So even if you're not a big fan of like long RPGs, you can still enjoy them. Yeah. What's your Tiffany one pick?
Spark the Electric Gesture.
I think it's a good pick.
I could probably put it a bit higher because I do find this game very solid with the 2 different game modes and everything else that it has. The soundtrack being also really amazing amazing part of the game. It's a really fun, nice, fast pace. Though I do think do you remember the physics in this game?
Was it? Okay, yes.
That was the funniest. That was a bit of a whack part of the game, but otherwise, very solid, very fast paced, very fun, good soundtrack. Sad that I do wish more people would have actually bought this game though.
Yeah, the first
because I remember it being 2000. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard the third game is pretty good. I don't know if it's as good as the second game. I like the second game, but man, it had issues, especially near the end. Holy shit.
I find I found it a bit jarring for me on one side that it just jumps straight to like the Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure. Yeah.
Like I said, for just speed running Sonic's life cycle,
To be fair,
so we're gonna have.
There are a lot of people that are starving for Sonic Adventure content, so in that aspect, the game.
You are right. When do we get Sonic Forces though? Or sorry, my bad. Spark's Forces.
I
don't know. First we need Spark Doom. Boom. That's what the first.
No, we need Spark 2026, right? That'll be the reboot of Spark's the Electric Jester, but in 3D, and it'll be very glitchy and broken.
You're right.
And then
we need. Yeah. Go on.
No, we need motion control Spark, the storybook version, the spin-off.
Yes, Spark. And if we finish it off at Spark 2030, we need to a legacy, like a Spark's Generations,
yes.
to have all the nostalgia before we get Spark Boom.
Now we also need Spark Unleashed, and of course we need Spark. Like the motion controlled one would be called Spark and the amazing paperwork for job applications.
Oh.
Honestly, if they do that, I will fucking laugh.
If they actually follow Sonic's lifestyle, I'll fucking kill them.
The next one might hurt some people because they wish the game didn't die. Titanfall 2.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace indeed. I only played it once, and it's not a very long game, but it was an entertaining time. The movement was great, and the mechs were fun, and the shooting was just solid as well. I can't say much for multiplayer because, when I played it, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, of course, but when I played it, it was already filled with bots because everyone was playing Apex Legends instead, and yeah, that's how it is. It's kind of sad because the game is genuinely pretty good.
Yes.
Wow, I can't believe Ennis's next pick is Shadow the Hedgehog, my favorite video game.
No, it's gonna be Dark Souls 2 again.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. Loop Hero.
Loop Hero?
Yes. We're going a bit more into the obscure stuff.
What the? Oh yeah, this is obscure. What is this?
So, and I ended up somehow finding it. It's a roguelike game, and it's very interesting. Where you just go. The main character, or any of the main character has like different classes that it can find and play at some point. But it constantly goes. The world is literally falling apart. And all that's left is this one path that the main character can walk through. And as he walks through it, he starts remembering stuff and everything else in this loop, and can then start building the city. it's a weird roguelike game where you have the resource management, try to level up your character with good gear and stuff. And anything you place on the map either makes him stronger or puts more enemies on the field that might either fuck you over or benefit you in the long run. It's a very cool game concept that I couldn't beat because fuck me, it becomes a grind at the very end. It's a very, very fun game. And very addicting too. It's like, do you know Vampire Survive?
Yes. Actually, I know the better version of Vampire Survive called Hollow Cure.
Yeah.
Now, generally, it's a very good game. Like, even if you don't know the VTubers, like, it's just fun.
Yes.
It's very addicting.
Yeah, exactly. It's the addictive part. It's a nice thing you can distract yourself with. It's a roguelike. Very good.
Alright, so as for my next video game that exists totally, I am going to pick Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah, we're finally getting Kingdom Hearts games again. Like, honestly, I wasn't really sure where to place it either, because Kingdom Hearts 3, I had fun with the game. I really had a lot of fun with the game. But, you know, of course now there's like a DLC and shit, but when I first played it, it felt unfinished too. So as much, I would say I liked this, like, close to 2, but there were some parts that just wasn't right. Like, obviously the attraction things were, you know, too abundant, making the game too easy. The game didn't even have, like, critical mode at the time, right? So that already is a big change with the DLC as well. That's critical mode, which is what I want to try out. But it also has a pretty lacking post-game. Like, the post-game is just, like, the game itself is only, like, 30 hours long, so it's not very long. If you want to make it 30 hours longer, you get the Ultima Keyblade, because you have to do so many fucking mini-games to get them. It's the worst grind of the series, actually. That says a lot. And it's not like the Super Boss was very entertaining. Now, with the Remind DLC, maybe my opinion on that will change, because the Remind DLC, from what I have seen and heard, is as good as Kingdom Hearts 2's final, like, enemies. Like, the gameplay might even surpass Kingdom Hearts 2 with its final optional bosses and shit because of the Remind DLC. But the dumb thing is, to get to the Remind DLC, you have to beat the game, the original version of the game. Now, it doesn't mean you can skip the post-game, of course, because you're gonna go into the Remind DLC, but I still think that's silly. Let me just start with the Remind DLC features. Honestly, just download the save file when you're playing on PC, because it's on Steam now, which is great. Get it on Steam, so you can download the save file, so you can do the Remind DLC. Yeah, but I still think, you know, the game looks great. The world design, I think, is actually the best. You know, it's not too vertical like Kingdom Hearts 1, but there's plenty of interaction. And, you know, the soundtrack is fucking fantastic. The story, at this point, you know, I don't care about the story anymore. Some of the cutscenes are a bit entertaining, but I don't give a fuck about the story. But, you know, Ennis would be delighted to hear that you don't revisit worlds.
Oh, finally. I don't want to play Disney Worlds anyway, so I won't be touching it. I'm sorry. I'm not touching Kingdom Hearts anymore.
It's fine. But I generally do think this is a game. I think. Is the music done, by the way? It's done 140 hours.
Oh, shit, it's not.
Holy shit. Did they even. Hold on. You know.
We went through literally most countries at this point.
Holy fucking shit.
Wanna do something from Yakuza?
Sure. What OST?
Let's see. Probably. Let's just do the Zero OST. All right, no, relaxing music. Just do that one. We won't know from which games they are, but we'll just do it anyway.
I do know because the game says it says it.
Oh shit! It says. What the fuck?
I love this feature, by the way. Like, it just tells you all the Anyway.
Yeah, that's a great feature they added.
Yeah, like it's a chapter feature, really, but like you can use it for these things as well. Need to get the audio just right. It's a little bit loud on OBS. Okay. Anyway, continuing. Yeah. All right. So your 73rd one.
Fallout 1.
Fallout? Yeah. Oh,
Fallout 1. Because I actually played that one.
Fallout 1. Let's fucking go. I think someone somewhere is like screaming, "Let's fucking go! We're so back."
Yeah. Yes, Zoomer played the ye old game. Yes, I played it in its full glory.
You played the ye old game that isn't very popular among the retro gamers.
I actually like Fallout 1 for everything it has done. It's very fun. The world is nice. The adventure is kind of can be difficult but very fun in its own way. You know, the feel of power you get when you equip when you finally get the power suit as well, and the Gatling gun or the laser gun as well. Inventory management is a pain in the ass, and traversing to nuclear waste, but the lore is interesting too with the first game. I think a lot of good things going on with it, though that can be archaic as well. It's a very good one, honestly, for me. And you know what the most fun, and one of the fun things as well is you can go with like 0 intelligence and people will treat you like you're a fucking idiot.
Oh, you are. That's the fun part, dude.
That's the fun part. You can't even speak.
Man. One of those games where
I tried to play 2.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried to play 2, but I just couldn't get into it. I guess I was burned out from 1. Even though it's kind of short, you know?
Really now, it's short. Probably be quite longer.
Yeah, it is short. No, it's it's an old game after all. It's like, it's just maybe we're spoiled with fucking Dragon Quest 11, but it was like maybe 20 hours or something less.
That's okay. That's normal, yeah. Our next game will be Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1.
30 hours.
What?
30 hours.
Yeah, this game is also around 30 hours depending what you do. Second, welcome Shushan to the live stream. We're already at the number of 74. It's pretty crazy. You'll never expect what games I'm gonna put on here, because I'm putting Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1 on here. You came at a perfect time. You'll never see it coming.
Such an adorable fucking cover, you know.
It really is. Like, so Hyperdimension Neptunia, right? Like, I've only known about it because I didn't know anything about it. Like, I saw maybe some anime clips at some point when I was a weeblet, like a young weeblet, and so I was unable to join the stream last time. It's okay, don't have to worry about it. But I was watching like Lost Boss, like there was like one of the only anime tubers I watched, and he played like this game, and I thought I have to check it out. At first I thought it was just a visual novel, so I was just interested in what it was about. But then I learned it was a full-ass RPG, and I thought, okay, fine, I'll play it. It's a parody of the game industry, just like Victory 2, and this one leans a lot more into the comedy of it. But it's a really perfect introduction to the series. Right? It's a remake of the original game, but the team is more experienced with writing, and every character is like very well written, very funny. That's mostly what it is, right? It's just cute girls that are pretty fucking funny. The parodying is pretty funny too. And I do like the combo system quite a bit. I just think when I really was typing out the adventure and description shit, I just realized, are you also live on Twitch? But no, I'm not on Twitch. One day I might stream on both ends, but not right now. I don't think I don't feel the need to. So, Rebirth, yeah, like, I still think to this day, this is my favorite of the Rebirth games. I feel like the pacing is just perfect. 2 is a bit too short, 3 is a bit too long, 1 is perfect. I have other things with the 2, but like the one I just thought was absolutely fine. And it's good to the point where I go off my way to do the extra things in 1 compared to 2 and 3. And I also just kind of miss the adventure with the original 3 characters, like just Compa, IF, Neptune. Neptune is just the idiot, fourth wall breaking jokester. Compa is the the ditzy girl that is very nice. IF is the only sane person. Yeah, it's a funny adventure. I think you would get so many European viewers there. You say that is interesting. But the only reason I'm not on Twitch is because I feel like I get banned real quick.
If you have seen a back catalog, you will realize why.
Where was the Legacy of Goku? Sheesh, yeah, good game. So Ennis, what is your 74th pick?
Let's see. So what is a good one? I guess I'll go for an MMO. Oh. Eden Eternal.
Eden Eternal, interesting.
It was a game owned by X Legends, also by Area Games before Area Games died. Yeah, that company died.
Oh, that's sad. Press F.
And then right now Grand Fantasia is still active on a different server, I guess, and probably Eden Eternal as well. As thankfully the internet never dies, but your character does. But the greatness of Eden Eternal for me, it is it has a class system. You can play all these different types of classes. Unlocking these classes can give you, leveling up these classes can give you new classes. At some point, you could unlock the full potential of these classes. It had a story which, fuck no, I'm not gonna read, so I didn't. The gameplay was just very great, and it was also where I made some friends on the internet before we stopped talking, because I guess everybody got busy with their own stuff in life to play video games.
Yeah. It's kind of a sad.
But that's.
The fun
I ended up I still have somewhat contact with one guy who ended up playing Monster Hunter Rise with, but that's about it.
Okay. To answer Susan's question for Ennis, that's Fallout 1 because that's the only one he played. He kind of played 2, but he mostly played 1 and then was kind of burned out. But he enjoyed 1 a lot, so that's why he's on the list. So specifically Fallout 1.
Fallout 1 for now.
Really
it's like I want to play. I do want to play at some point Fallout 2 in Las Vegas, because I do have them. I would like to, but now not now.
Actually, I don't know if I own the Fallout games. Crisis 2. I like Crisis. My next game would be for the 75th spot. Actually, it is Final Fantasy VII. So yeah, like Final Fantasy VII, right? I like it, right? I thought the world setting is very interesting. The chronological order is so weird, really now. But Final Fantasy VII, I enjoyed it quite a bit, right? Like I thought the materia system was interesting, but my biggest issue was that like by the time I could really experiment with the materia system, I was already by the end of the game. And when I grinded for like all those extra stuff for the materia, I was too powerful. Maybe if I do the post game, maybe I would like the game more. But I still enjoyed my time. The story is interesting. I don't like it as much as like 6 and 9, but it was an interesting story. It was an interesting game and at a good world setting. Of course, it was pretty memorable from it being the first 3D entry as well. But will I say it's overrated? Maybe a little bit, but it's a tinge, But it's still good. I still like. It's also a pretty easy Final Fantasy to get into, so you can play this as your first one as well. Yeah, it's a game you can just pick up and play. So.
And I will put another blast from the past.
You can also try Hollow Knight. I have it on my game list, but I'll play it at some point. It's just that it's a big undertaking. So I have to prepare for that one.
The two of us will probably enjoy a lot of it because it's just.
We're actually planning to do controller switching with that one as well at some point. I'm doing it blind on stream at some point.
If it works like Persona 5, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be funny. It's going to be a funny playthrough.
What was it again? The Diablo 1.
One?
Yes, I actually played Diablo 1.
Okay, but you didn't play 2.
No, I have 2.
Okay, but you why 1?
Not the remake, not the remaster, but I wanted to play the first Diablo game.
Mods, that's interesting, but I want to experience the first time for myself. I think, but I think we do controller switching first. But yeah, it's a fun. I'm looking forward to do Hollow Knight at some point. We have a lot of things to do. Is there a console version for this so I can get a better image? When did it came out?
Your best bet.
PS1? Was it a PS1 game?
Oh, that came out on the PS1.
Ah, there you go. Oh. So, Ennis, Diablo 1. I've never played a Diablo game. I started kind of getting a bit interested in it, but what is it really about?
It's kind of this one is specifically more of a grim dark story of a village that ended up just going into the shit because of some guy wanted to summon the demons, Satan or something like that. Diablo, basically. Yeah, it's the guy in the cover.
Wow.
And you, as the people that live in the village, are trying your best to to save it, to stop whatever's happening, and end up in a portal in hell, basically. Just fighting off demons and stuff. It is a looter. It's a dungeon looter. You go in, you kill the stuff, you get the loot, you get upgraded, right? And it's a very sad story, really, with how it ends, with the main character really just not being able to stop the evil from getting out, right? But that's where Diablo 2 comes in, and you play as the heroes that will actually slay the guy. Which has, Diablo 2 being also being able to play as co-op as well. It's a very, interesting game and fun one. It has the setting, it has the dread going on with it and everything.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
For my next pick,
but I'm gonna have to be a party pooper for it or viewer, but I still have to work tomorrow, so.
Ah, fuck! So we have to stop. We have to stop at 75.
Well, I have to stop it. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, that's too bad. We're so sorry, but Ennis does have to work. I remember my friend rage quitting while playing Diablo Immortal. I don't know. Isn't that the phone game?
It is the phone game. I believe that is the phone game. Diablo 4, Diablo 3. Yeah, Immortal is the phone game.
WTaste, not gonna lie. Thank you, Shusant. We're very sorry we have to stop so early. I also don't really know what day we can finish this. So I'll have to find out.
I'm willing to. I don't know. How do you feel about tomorrow?
I feel like doing it tomorrow. I don't know if I'm really gonna be home at 6, but we can finish it tomorrow, I think, because we only need 25 games. We can do that in I think 3 hours, but we can do that in 3 hours easily, right?
Yeah, it should be easily done. The last 25. Look, we're already we're 40 spots further. So
I think for our young viewer here, I'm just gonna show the rest of the list for a bit because he probably missed it. So I'm just gonna just slowly scroll over the list for a little bit while we say our goodbyes. So tomorrow we're gonna try to finally finish this list. It's a big one. Do you guys planning on making an anime or movie list? Actually, I was expecting such a question, and I think an anime list is gonna be a lot more difficult. But I'm kind of considering maybe doing it at some point. Maybe not immediately. But it's gonna be difficult because I actually don't know if Ennis actually watched 100 animes now that I think about it. He probably did.
I have no clue at this point if I did or not, because I am not keeping up anymore with that nonsense, I'm just gonna be honest. It's like you literally had to ask me to remember games that I had played, which is also a difficult fucking thing.
Yeah, Ennis has
no, I'm willing to at the very least try as much as I want. Listen, man, we're 10 years further at this point.
Yeah.
12. How am I going? You don't remember what you ate 12 years ago. What the fuck do you mean you're gonna remember every show you see?
Well, to be fair, I can remember what I ate 12 years ago, but that's for the wrong reason.
Can't believe it, Jess, you eat dirt.
To answer that though, I can do it, and I'll just fucking throw a bunch of anime I think Anna's watched to do it. But we could do it. It's just I find anime more difficult to rank than games, because with games I have a lot of experience with, to the point where I find it very easy to say what games do I like more than others. With anime, it's gonna be a lot more difficult. But I do want to do it. I'm not immediately going to do it, but maybe at some point when we have time for it. Fuck it, let's just do it. Shits and giggles. If we can't make it to top 100, we'll just make it top 50,
Yeah, exactly. We'll just keep it at somewhere.
We'll keep it simple. I think you should stream Dragon Ball Sparking. That's what we're going to do. It's already in the waiting room. You can find it in the live stream section on the channel.
Jess is gonna sell his liver to buy this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell a liver to buy the Ultimate Edition. I'll never do it again. I promise.
Well, yeah, well, you have to.
Last time.
Right, that's kidneys that you have to.
I am fucking excited for Sparking Zero. We're playing that game. Actually, we're doing the early, we're getting the early access thing because I'm getting the Ultimate Edition, so I can get the early access. Ennis has only played Tenkaichi 2 for the most part when he was a child, but you know, he doesn't have much of an opinion on it because of he hasn't played much of it.
You know, I do like the excitement that Jess has, so I'm all for it. I don't want to rain on this parade, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, I am ecstatic for Sparking Zero. We're playing the whole game. I'm playing all of it on stream. But don't you worry, I have a whole series planned for that one.
He's gonna let loose and take names.
At first it's gonna be on Tuesday because that's when I can play the game. But it's gonna be on Fridays after, so the stream should be longer than these streams. Like, it should be 5-hour long streams. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm freaking excited. I don't know how much. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but we'll see. I'm also so excited for Draco. Yeah, it's a very exciting time. You know, Tenkaichi 3 also a childhood game of mine. Also, when I say infamous here, Shinto, it's because it's all 3 games I listed on 37. You can try to solo people online using Yamcha or some other character. Yeah, no, no, I'm not that good at. I'm not very good at the game. Actually, I'm not super bad at the game. I wouldn't know how to play the game, but I wasn't bad at Tenkaichi 3. But holy shit, the competitive side is crazy. The competitive side is nuts. Yeah, and if you want to say your goodbyes, you can do that, or you can just stick around while I scroll slowly.
No, I'll take my leave then.
Right.
Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. I think we'll hopefully finish it.
To hopefully finish this list.
Yes. And enjoy the nap, having a good time with yourself. Bye bye.
The what? Bye.
Check this.
Yeah. Goddamn. She's going at hyper speed here. I've played this game. I haven't played Blasphemous yet, but Ennis does recommend it to me a lot. All the best to both of you. I hope you scored high on your exam. Have beautiful dreams. You too, my friend. I'll see you. Yeah. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. And farewell.